Luo Feng brought Morosa to the Zhu clan's cave mansion. After all, they were both in the Primal Chaos Armor Sector, so the distance was close. As expected of the Zhu clan, just the cost of this formation alone is quite high, Luo Feng said, looking at the grand formation in operation. The power of the formation was the strongest he had seen within Huyang City. With such a terrifying formation, assassin Ying Cang wouldn't be able to kill his way inside. After more than 2 decades of cultivation, Luo Feng had made significant advancements, yet even so, he might have hopes of tearing through the formation and killing his way in only by burning divine power. Nearly all the core members of my Zhu clan live here. We can't afford to be careless, Zhu You explained with a smile as he accompanied Luo Feng. For this formation, my Zhu clan also exhausted a great amount of karmic luck. Luo Feng nodded. Unlike the 5 great families which were only branches, the Zhu clan was rooted here, so naturally, they fortified their cave mansion as impregnable as a fortress. Soon Luo Feng saw a thin old man with green secret patterns on his skin. The old man looked at Luo Feng with a smile. Lord Luo He. Patriarch Zhu You, Luo Feng said courteously. In terms of renown within Huyang City, Patriarch Zhu You was on par with Moli Xiao and Divine Monarch Shui Yun. Please, Patriarch Zhu You led the way into a small building. Zhu You and Luo Feng each took their seats, as exquisite food and fine wine were served. It is only today that I have the opportunity to meet with Lord Luo He, Patriarch Zhu You said, looking at Luo Feng with admiration. Although the god has not been in Huyang City for long, his fame is now the greatest in the city. That's just an empty reputation, Luo Feng remarked. Lord Wei, you flatter me, Patriarch Zhu You gestured, and a green jade vial flew towards Luo Feng, landing on the table in front of him. 2 million cosmic sands, god, you can verify. Luo Feng checked it with his divine power and indeed, it was exactly 2 million cosmic sands, not a grain less. This made Luo Feng inwardly marvel at the strength of the native forces represented by the Zhu family, so easily parting with such a massive amount of wealth. This is the sword of the world's core. Luo Feng handed over the mechanical stream secret treasure, sword of the world's core, to Patriarch Zhu You. Patriarch Zhu You briefly checked it before storing it away. With the transaction complete, the atmosphere became even more congenial. After they had eaten and drunk their fill, Luo Feng took his leave from Patriarch Zhu You with Zhu You personally seeing him out. There's no need to see me out. Outside the main entrance of the Zhu clan's cave mansion, Luo Feng, accompanied by Morosa, piloted the flying boat and left. Patriarch Zhu You stood in front of the small building, watching the flying boat disappear into the distance. A gentle-looking woman appeared beside him. Lord Wei, here's your sword of the world's core. Patriarch Zhu You handed the sword to the woman. Lord Wei, have you been able to discern anything real about this Lord Luo He from your secret observations? He gives me a very unique feeling, the gentlewoman said with interest. I left the royal capital to travel around the cities of Yu Kingdom, and I feel that this Lord Luo He is the most stunning person I've ever seen. Patriarch Zhu You was surprised. The most stunning person? It's just a feeling, the gentlewoman immediately replied. I bothered Patriarch Zhu You for this transaction. Now that I have acquired the sword of the world's core, I shall take my leave. It's but a trivial matter. Patriarch Zhu You was still very eager to help. In terms of power he was no less than Lord Wei. But with Lord Wei's vastly superior background compared to the 5 great families, he naturally had to treat her well. In the following days, Luo Feng sold off some of the spoils of war he had acquired to various trade associations within Huyang City, exchanging them all for cosmic sands. I now have 3.3 million cosmic sands, and the estimated cost for 3 body refinement sessions is 3.6 million cosmic sands worth of materials. Plus some additional losses during refinement. I should prepare a bit more, Luo Feng thought, still short of over 300,000 cosmic sands. What should I do? He was reluctant to sell the 2 mechanical stream secret treasures, the Life Blood River and the Myriad Realms Escape Command just yet. He also had some eternal true god level armor, weapons, exotic beast materials and so on, which all together were worth about 30 to 400,000 cosmic sands. He had more than half of the blood of Yi beast left, which was also worth 500 to 600,000 cosmic sands. But Luo Feng didn't particularly want to sell that either. Short of over 300,000 cosmic sands, I'll just take on another bounty mission, Luo Feng nodded lightly. It's been so long since I've made a move, I'm afraid it won't deter those ferocious characters. Choose one that deserves to be killed. Luo Feng began scouring the Flame Wind Association's dark hall for assassination tasks, choosing carefully. Suddenly, Brother Luo He, you must hurry to the Heavenly Flame Sect, Moli Meng transmitted to Luo Feng. What happened to the Heavenly Flame Sect? Luo Feng was puzzled. The Heavenly Flame Sect was the artifact refining sect created by his good friend Shang Tianyan. Sure Kingdom's forces have captured several formation masters, and it's very likely they will also capture Shang Tianyan, Moli Meng transmitted. Luo Feng's heart tightened. Over these past 2 decades, Brother Shang had been forthcoming with all the enigmas of body refinement he faced. And through their interactions over so long, Shang Tianyan had become his only good friend in Huyang City. As for Black Butcher, Moyu Hu and others, the relationships weren't as equal, so naturally they were some distance from good friends. Qingyan, you stay and guard the cave mansion, Luo Feng instructed, then took Morosa with him on the flying boat, quickly leaving the cave mansion. What's going on? Moyu Qingyan looked on from afar. The master seems a bit anxious? Heavenly Flame Sect. Brother Luo He. Shang Tianyan approached with his imposing figure to greet Luo Feng and Morosa as they emerged from the flying boat. Moli Meng has contacted me and said you were in danger? Luo Feng said. Shang Tianyan shook his head. Just tonight, within Huyang City, 8 formation masters were captured at the same time by a mysterious force. All of these formation masters are eternal true gods and none could resist. Captured at the same time? Luo Feng was surprised. It was not easy to capture an eternal true god alive. To do so simultaneously, dividing forces across 8 routes with each one succeeding in capturing an eternal true god, indicated a very powerful entity. Yes, most of these 8 formation masters were in their own cave mansions. Shang Tianyan nodded. They were all captured alive and taken away, and the city owner's mansion can't even track their whereabouts. With this kind of strength and the will to act in such a way, it must be the Sure Kingdom's forces. Why did they capture them? Luo Feng pressed for answers. Shang Tianyan replied, the formation of the entire city of Huyang City is vast, formed by a perfect combination of numerous arrays, and many formation masters have repaired it over the long years. There were 9 who did the repairs and still lived within Huyang City. Tonight 8 were captured. I am the last one. They captured 8 and let me go. Shang Tianyan shook his head. The city owner's mansion might even suspect that I am colluding with the Sure Kingdom's forces. Luo Feng understood. Those 8 formation masters, all in service to the city owner's mansion, isn't the mansion making efforts to rescue them? I have already inquired with the city owner's mansion. Shang Tianyan looked up at the night sky, sighing. Their response was that at the moment the 8 formation masters were captured, their karmic messenger orders were destroyed, preventing any lock on the whereabouts of the 8 formation masters. The city owner's mansion should have the karmic mark of these 8 formation masters, Luo Feng said. With these karmic marks, they should be able to deduce the locations of the 8 formation masters. Merely with the help of karmic marks to deduce locations? Shang Tianyan shook his head. That's a method only the Primal Chaos Overlord would have, isn't it? Flame Wind Pavilion can do it, Luo Feng stated. For Flame Wind Pavilion to deduce using karmic marks, it requires 1 million cosmic sand. Shang Tianyan shook his head. The city owner's mansion wouldn't be willing to do that. Based on past experiences once taken away by the Sure Kingdom's forces, life and death are then decided by the Sure Kingdom's forces. Luo Feng nodded slightly. That's why one must not get involved in their struggles. Getting involved means you could be crushed at any moment. Shang Tianyan shook his head. But those of us adept in formations were ordered by the city owner's mansion to repair some of the damaged formations. We have no right to refuse. Shang Tianyan looked at Luo Feng. I have no collusion with the Sure Kingdom, and by not capturing me this time I guess, they do not want to offend you. Of the 9 only I was spared, said Shang Tianyan. Those 8 who were captured were all my good friends. We often discussed formations together. I don't know if they will survive this time. Inside a secret treasure space, Divine Monarch Shui Yun, Yu Tiansu and Yu Tianyi, along with more than 10 eternal true gods, were interrogating in separate spaces. The Sure Kingdom's forces had 2 teams within Huyang City, a weaker team led by Chairman Zan Yun and a stronger team under the command of Divine Monarch Shui Yun. Chairman Zan Yun could only contact Divine Monarch Shui Yun and not the numerous subordinates of Divine Monarch Shui Yun. Answer obediently and you can live. If you don't tell us, you'll have to die and your clan will be destroyed too, threatened the eternal true gods. They had many methods of threat, which could make these formation masters neither able to live nor die as they wish. Soon all the captured formation masters confessed. What they understood was only the tip of the iceberg when it came to the Huyang City formation. Of these 8 formation masters, 1 was already on our side, and the other 7 have now finally confessed, Divine Monarch Shui Yun said with a smile. How shall we deal with these formation masters? Yu Tiansu asked. Release 5, kill 3, Divine Monarch Shui Yun said carelessly. First, to let all sides of Huyang City know that serving the city owner's mansion leads to a bad end. Second, to show them that we, the Sure Kingdom, are merciful after all and will spare some obedient eternal true gods. Yu Tiansu furrowed his brow. We should just fulfill our task, in my opinion, kill them all. Do as I say. Divine Monarch Shui Yun glanced at Yu Tiansu and then finalized the list of the 5 to be spared, including the formation master who had sided with them. That night, the 5 surviving formation masters were released and sent back. Inside the Heavenly Flame sect, Luo Feng and Morosa sat opposite each other, drinking. Shang Tianyan drank his wine, looking up at the night sky, quite anxious. Suddenly, his expression changed as he took out his karmic messenger order. What happened? Asked Luo Feng. 3 of the 8 friends who were captured have just had their karmic ties suddenly severed. Shang Tianyan looked at his karmic messenger order. With the karmic ties gone, all 3 of them are dead. They clearly had no power to resist, yet the Sure Kingdom's forces still killed them. At the city owner's mansion, 5 incarnations of divine power had assembled and seated themselves. To capture 8 formation masters alive at the same time, the forces of Sure Kingdom must have dispatched a group of top eternal true gods, said Moli Xiao. According to the 5 surviving formation masters, the Sure Kingdom's forces are investigating all information pertaining to the Huyang City formation map. The formation masters are only responsible for repairing very small areas. They know little about the complete formation map, stated the Lord of Huyang City. Such a large commotion cannot be just for that bit of information. Wu Kulu, a figure clad in blood-colored scale armor, spoke indifferently. The formation masters know little about the complete formation map, but they are well aware of the general layout of Huyang City's formation map. Everyone present agreed. Like Shang Tianyan and other formation masters, who could repair small areas of the formation, their mastery of formations was profound, from a point to extrapolating the whole face. They would have a general guess about the layout of the entire Huyang City formation map. They must have plans for the grand formation of Huyang City, declared the leader of the Meiwu clan solemnly. Shui Yun is very restrained. It's been a long time since they made such a big move, said Mo Li Xiao. I think we can report to the Marquis and request support. Agreed. The Sher Kingdom's forces capturing the formation masters is just the beginning. Once they really show their fangs, we might not be able to hold them off. Let's report to the Marquis. Everyone agreed. They were too late to even cover up the incident of Meiwu Qi slaughtering hundreds of millions of civilians within Huyang City, so naturally they did not dare to ask for help. Yet, in dealing with the forces of Sher Kingdom, their request for help was completely justified. Luo Feng, who did not fully understand the subtle strife between the city owner's mansion and the forces of Sher Kingdom, temporarily resided in the Heavenly Flame sect. This was also a public declaration. Shang Tianyan, I've got your back. 2 days had passed in a blink of an eye. Luo Feng was walking around inside the Heavenly Flame sect, watching the disciples refine secret treasure weapons. Supreme. Moyu Liuxing, the third of the Moyu family who was instructing juniors, spotted Luo Feng and promptly greeted him with respect. He also had a talent for artifact refining, and with sufficient resources had already advanced to a true god of void space. Among the 3 Moyu brothers, both the eldest and the third were true gods of void space. Only Moyu Qingyan, who followed Luo Feng, was still a true god. Moyu Liuxing, Luo Feng smiled at him. I hear you've gotten married? Yes, she is a senior sister I met after joining the Heavenly Flame sect, said Moyu Liuxing, his face revealing a hint of happiness as he spoke of his wife. It seems the Heavenly Flame sect suits you well, Luo Feng chuckled. In the land of origin, countless creatures rarely marry in their lifetimes, as they live infinitely long and have no need to reproduce. Finding a beloved one and getting married is quite rare in the land of origin. Some extremely powerful beings with extraordinary bloodlines reproduce offspring primarily to pass on these bloodlines. The Heavenly Flame sect is indeed a good fit for me, and our master gives us careful guidance, Moyu Liuxing remarked. Suddenly, Shang Tianyan hurriedly approached from afar, reaching Luo Feng in just 2 steps. Brother Luo He, Shang Tianyan said urgently. Luo Feng waved to Moyu Liuxing, who then respectfully withdrew. What's the matter? Luo Feng asked. Among the 8 formation masters who were captured earlier, 3 have been killed, Shang Tianyan said. Their families might face some troubles after their deaths, so I'm also keeping an eye on their situations. Shang Tianyan, who liked making friends, counted all 3 as his close friends since they all belonged to the same circle. Of these 3 families, 2 were silently devoured by Cloud Treasure Tower, which has branches in many major cities of Yu Kingdom, mainly selling mid to low-end secret treasure weapons, continued Shang Tianyan. Branches like the one I founded, Heavenly Flame Sect, and other artifact refiner shops are just small time. Cloud Treasure Tower, those are the major trading powers. Luo Feng listened. Selling secret treasure weapons to eternal true gods, how many could one sell in an era? Selling to true gods and true gods of void space, that's where the real profit lies. Given the incredibly large numbers, it accumulates into staggering wealth. Normally, Cloud Treasure Tower wouldn't stoop to plundering local families, but this time they did, Shang Tianyan fumed. It must have been some eternal true gods at Cloud Treasure Tower's Huyang City branch who coveted the assets and swallowed up those 2 families. In front of Cloud Treasure Tower, these 2 families couldn't resist at all. In silence, all their long-accumulated resources, materials and shops were snatched away, Shang Tianyan said angrily. That would have been manageable, but Cloud Treasure Tower is too strong. They didn't go on a killing spree. The 2 families, although completely ruined, at least kept their lives with not many relatives killed over the disputes. But it's grim for the Chiefing family. They were targeted by the Dark Forces, the Six Lords Alliance. Core members of the Chiefing family perished in great numbers, the vast majority of their resources were forcibly looted, and 2 children of the eternal true gods were taken to the headquarters of the Six Lords Alliance by the Thousand-Eye Lord, explained Shang Tianyan. It's likely to force those 2 to hand over the inheritances. Brother Luo He, Lord Chiefing, is my good friend. Half of his family members have died, and I want to save his 2 children, Shang Tianyan looked at Luo Feng. The Six Lords Alliance won't consider my feelings, so I'm asking you, Brother Luo He, to help. Luo Feng frowned upon hearing this. The city owner's mansion just watched all this happen? Those 3 formation masters were initially brought in to repair the city's formation, which led to their dire fates. The majority of eternal true gods in Huyang City had served the city owner's mansion, and when did the city owner's mansion ever care about the lives and deaths of those eternal true gods? Shang Tianyan shook his head. Unless you completely surrender and become a vassal, the city owner's mansion won't intervene. Leave this matter to me. Luo Feng nodded and soared towards the distance, glancing at Morosa, who was happily eating and drinking. With one look, Morosa understood. Master. Morosa immediately flew over. We're going out for a bit. Luo Feng, piloting the flying boat, took Morosa and headed straight for the headquarters of the Six Lords Alliance. There were 18 dark forces in Huyang City, of which the Six Lords Alliance was one. The headquarters of the Six Lords Alliance was perennially gloomy, with a faint mist swirling around, and many internal members were busy with their respective tasks. Inside one of the halls of the headquarters, the siblings from the chiefing family sat there, fearfully watching the woman in the red robe in front of them. Your father is dead, and carrying treasures is not a good thing for you. It's a bad thing. The woman in the red robe sat there, softly laughing. Previously I instructed your clan to willingly transfer the family resources, and they were actually reluctant? The result of their reluctance is that most of your clan is now deceased. Now it's your turn. The woman in the red robe looked at the siblings. Lord Chiefing had only you two children. He must have arranged a way out for you, probably left some resources for you in the Flame Wind Pavilion. Do as I say, immediately contact the Flame Wind Pavilion, transfer all the resources to me. Then you can live. Otherwise, you also have to die, and if you die, everything becomes void. The woman in the red robe looked at the two fat sheep. As one of the leaders of the dark forces, she was continually hunting for fat sheep. After the death of Lord Chiefing, his two children naturally became big fat sheep. Like after Diarong Yan's death, his daughter, Diarong Chi, was also considered a fat sheep, but she had been staying in the Moli clan's cave mansion, so she avoided trouble. It's fortunate I acted quickly, otherwise if I was a bit slower, others from the dark forces might have snatched them. The woman in the red robe, the Thousand-Eye Lord, thought to herself. At this moment, Luo Feng had already arrived at the headquarters of the Six Lords Alliance with Morosa, piloting the flying boat. After storing the flying boat, Luo Feng and Morosa appeared at the main entrance of the Six Lords Alliance headquarters. Master? Shall we storm in? Morosa was eager to move. Yet Luo Feng had already taken a step forward. Boom. Without permission, trespassing into the Six Lords Alliance headquarters naturally triggered the headquarters formation's retaliation. The somber formations might erupted and pressed down on Luo Feng, intent on tearing him apart. What's happening? Many members of the Six Lords Alliance headquarters, including the eternal true gods present, were somewhat surprised. Luo Feng, with Morosa stepping into the headquarters, naturally formed an invisible force around his body that could crush the formation's power. As they entered the headquarters, Luo Feng instantly locked onto the Thousand-Eye Lord and also spotted the siblings from the chiefing family next to the woman in the red robe, Thousand-Eye Lord. Shang Tianyin had naturally provided Luo Feng with information about this pair of siblings beforehand. Lord Luo He, the Lord Bai Wu of the Six Lords Alliance, called out from a distance. Boom. Luo Feng took a step and, along with Morosa, thundered through numerous obstacles, breaking through building walls, and directly arrived inside the hall, appearing in front of the Thousand-Eye Lord. The Thousand-Eye Lord was shocked to see Luo Feng and the broken building stones around her, and even managed to smile as she greeted, Thousand-Eye has seen Lord Luo He. Lord Luo He. The other two eternal true gods inside the headquarters, Lord Bai Wu and Captive Wind Lord, quickly flew over, very polite and humble, not daring to offend in the slightest. Luo Feng looked at the woman in the red robe. Thousand-Eye Lord, is it you who acted against the chiefing family? The woman in the red robe instantly made a guess and spoke hastily. I was protecting the two children of Lord Chiefing. It wasn't me who killed those members of the chiefing family. It was her who killed them. In the corner of the hall, one of the siblings, the elder brother, despite being terrified, still gritted his teeth and shouted out those words. The woman in the red robe looked at the siblings in shock and anger. Lord Luo He, The woman in the red robe was about to defend herself when she saw that Lord Luo He in front of her had already reached out. She didn't hesitate further, instantly manifested her true body in an attempt to save her life. A huge twisted entity appeared, its surface dotted with eerie eyes. Indeed, she had over 1,000 eyes, capable of damaging an enemy's soul. Spurt. What seemed like an ordinary stretch of Luo Feng's hand pierced through that massive entity, crushing a true god's heart. Only the twisted manifestation of the true god's body fell apart, and with a wave of his hand, Luo Feng collected the corpse. Seeing this scene, both Lord Bai Wu and Captive Wind Lord were somewhat stunned. Although the Thousand-Eye Lord wasn't as powerful as the Blood Python Association leader, she was still an extremely formidable eternal true god, but she had no chance to resist in front of Lord Luo He. Do the numerous deaths within the chiefing family have anything to do with you too? Luo Feng looked at them. Lord Bai Wu and Captive Wind Lord hastily shook their heads. They knew a wrong answer might mean their own deaths. The members of the headquarters of the Six Lords Alliance could vaguely see the figures of Luo Feng, Lord Bai Wu and Captive Wind Lord through the damaged building, with each of the ordinary members trembling at heart and daring not come closer. Both Lord Bai Wu and Captive Wind Lord were in utter panic, fearing they would end up the same as Thousand-Eye Lord. It has nothing to do with us, Lord Bai Wu said urgently. That was Thousand-Eye Lord's prey, she would never allow us to intervene, Captive Wind Lord added, and we even advised her. After all, it was the family of an eternal true god, it shouldn't look too ugly. She just wouldn't listen. Lord Bai Wu also said, most of the eternal true gods within Huyang City know each other. We also need to restrain ourselves a bit in our actions. But Thousand-Eye Lord was just mad, acting recklessly and wantonly. Luo Feng slightly frowned. Lord Bai Wu and Captive Wind Lord immediately fell silent. The intelligence I understand also said it was Thousand-Eye Lord's doings. So you might escape this disaster, Luo Feng said coldly. Lord Bai Wu and Captive Wind Lord let out a silent sigh of relief. Only when facing Lord Luo He could they feel the suffocating pressure. They did not doubt that if they disagreed, Lord Luo He would crush them to death. I killed Thousand-Eye Lord who took direct action. Regarding you 5, well, I'll just fine you 300,000 cosmic sand. Spare your lives, Luo Feng said indifferently. 300,000 cosmic sand? Lord Bai Wu and Captive Wind Lord looked at each other, and they immediately contacted the other 3 companions via the transmission token. They feared Lord Luo He. But 300,000 cosmic sand was indeed a significant fortune. Splitting it, each of the 5 of them had to produce 60,000 cosmic sand. They also needed to consume a large amount of resources for cultivation and to purchase inheritances, secret treasure weapons. Most of them couldn't afford so much. Lord Luo He, we have already contacted the other 3 companions, Lord Bai Wu said ingratiatingly. But we ourselves consume a lot of resources and can't produce much cosmic sand. If you can't produce it, you can go die, Luo Feng said as he looked at them, having no sympathy for the eternal true gods of the dark forces. No. Captive Wind Lord explained, we can gather some cosmic sand by selling secret treasure weapons. In these past 20-some years, we have never offended a divine monarch. We took no part in the chiefing family affair. We are quite wronged. Can your divinity perhaps pity us, reducing some of the punishment? 300,000 cosmic sand is a great pressure on us. You dark forces have started reasoning now? Luo Feng looked at them with a smile that wasn't a smile. Aren't you always hunting? Indiscriminately selecting numerous preys within your own territories and wantonly killing them, did those preys provoke you? Lord Bai Wu and Captive Wind Lord were silent. As beings who plunder the masses for their own benefit, none of you who are killed are innocent. It's just that the land of origin is everywhere. A small eternal true god like me can't manage it all. But when you offend me, I can kill or punish you. Do you have an objection now? Luo Feng looked at them. Since you're bargaining, the price of your lives has now changed. It's become 500,000 cosmic sand. The 5 eternal true gods from your 6 lords alliance, bring out 500,000 cosmic sand and you can live. If not, go die, Luo Feng said leisurely. I'll give you 1 day to get ready. 500,000 cosmic sand? Lord Bai Wu and Captive Wind Lord trembled. Any more objections? Luo Feng looked at them. No objections, no objections. Lord Bai Wu and Captive Wind Lord immediately shook their heads, no longer daring to reason. Oh, and please relay a message to the 3 eternal true gods of the Cloud Treasure Pavilion, Luo Feng instructed. Just say they've swallowed the resources of 2 great families, but seeing as they haven't indulged in massacres, their fine will be the same as your 6 lords alliance, also 500,000 cosmic sand. Give them 1 day to prepare. The fine for Cloud Treasure Pavilion is also 500,000 cosmic sand? Lord Bai Wu and Captive Wind Lord somehow felt much better. It seems they weren't the only unlucky ones from the 6 lords alliance. We will certainly deliver the message, both Lord Bai Wu responded in unison. You only have 1 day. After Luo Feng spoke, he gathered the siblings of the chiefing family who had been trembling and hiding in the corner and left with Morosa. Within a few steps, they had already left the headquarters of the 6 lords alliance and then boarded the flying boat and shot through the sky. Lord Bai Wu and Captive Wind Lord watched the scene in silence. Even the city owner's mansion bowed down before Lord Luo He in the end. We have no way to resist, Captive Wind Lord sighed deeply. Thousand Eye Lord is such a fool. I had always said not to prey on the forces of the eternal true gods. Trouble with no end. She wouldn't listen. Her death aside, it has caused each of us to owe 100,000 cosmic sand. Lord Luan is also a fool. He made us talk with Lord Luo He, and that talk only increased the price, from 300,000 cosmic sand to 500,000 cosmic sand, Captive Wind Lord said, gritting his teeth in frustration. Since Lord Luo He asked us to deliver the message, we might as well pass it on to the Cloud Treasure Pavilion. Lord Bai Wu immediately took out the transmission token and began to relay the message. The Cloud Treasure Pavilion in Huyang City is garrisoned by 3 eternal true gods. With the backing of the Primal Chaos Overlord, even just a branch office in Huyang City was given respect by all parties and was not easily provoked by anyone. Even the forces of Sure Kingdom would not lightly clash with a major powers branch. What? The Pavilion Master and both Deputy Masters of the Cloud Treasure Pavilion were somewhat dazed upon receiving the message. This Lord Luo He has quite the nerve. Demanding us to pay 500,000 cosmic sand? Our Cloud Treasure Pavilion was founded by Heavenly Treasure Marquis. He actually dares to bully our Cloud Treasure Pavilion like this. All 3 of them were respected figures in Huyang City, who didn't give them some face. Although their branch was not as highly positioned as the Flame Wind Pavilion branch, they still frequently interacted with the 5 great families. What should we do? The Pavilion Master asked, surrounded by swirling black mist and a huge angry eye. Lord Luo He is excessive, but we cannot report this matter to the Marquis. Firstly, because it's a matter of us reaping private benefits secretly, the Marquis would severely punish us if he knew. Secondly, the Cloud Treasure Pavilion has business across most cities in the Yu Kingdom, and with countless city affairs adding up, the Marquis really wouldn't bother with such trivial matters, he explained. Because the Marquis couldn't be bothered and only cared about the final accounts, they dared to reap benefits under the Cloud Treasure Pavilion name. If they were ordinary eternal true gods who swallowed the assets of 2 families of formation masters, there would be significant backlash. Even a person like Thousand Eye Lord had to rely on killing to coerce the transfer of resources. But with the name of the Cloud Treasure Pavilion, they could intimidate all parties and quietly clean up their affairs. Over the long years, they had become very efficient at these kind of operations. Relying on the income issued by the Cloud Treasure Pavilion was really too meager. This kind of private benefit was where they made their real earnings. 500,000 cosmic sand is just too much, the pavilion master said. I'll go visit Lord Wei. If Lord Wei is willing to help, he should be able to resolve this matter. The two deputy masters nodded. Yes, Lord Wei. If Lord Wei is willing to help, this is but a trivial matter. 500,000 cosmic sand for them meant having to sell the armor and weapons they wore, practically squandering half of their lives, so naturally they sought to stall. The Heavenly Treasure Marquis wouldn't bother with such trifles, and they dared not speak up, so they had to come up with a solution themselves. After much contemplation, the 5 great families dared not provoke Lord Luo He and could only hope for Lord Wei's assistance. I will go now. The Cloud Treasure Pavilion Master could not afford any delay and immediately visited Lord Wei. Soon after, the Cloud Treasure Pavilion Master returned. How did it go? Both deputy masters felt uneasy, suspecting that if there had been good news, he might have informed them in advance. The huge single eye of the Cloud Treasure Pavilion Master showed frustration. Lord Wei refused, even reprimanded us, and demanded that we obediently hand over 500,000 cosmic sand. She believes that if we don't comply, Lord Luo He might take action. Would Luo He dare to kill us? One deputy master panicked. He dares to kill the 5 great families, what do you think? Alas, the Marquis won't intervene in these disputes among eternal true gods. The Cloud Treasure Pavilion Master shook his head. Just endure that, Luo He. His arrogance will bring about his downfall. Killing the 5 great families, threatening us, such arrogance will backfire eventually. The 2 deputy masters felt a pang of pain for the cosmic sand. The 3 of us should each take out a portion of the 500,000 cosmic sand, said the Cloud Treasure Pavilion Master. When reaping the benefits previously, you took half and we 2 shared the remaining half. It should be the same this time. You provide 250,000 cosmic sand, and we 2 together contribute 250,000. The 2 deputies, much poorer than the master, stood united. I can't produce 250,000 cosmic sand right now. You can sell treasures or borrow. Is Luo He truly asking the 6 Lords Alliance for a whole 500,000 cosmic sand? The 6 Lords Alliance too struggled to gather 500,000 cosmic sand. That day, Luo Feng's forceful intrusion into the headquarters of the 6 Lords Alliance didn't go unnoticed, naturally fermenting within Huyang City. The leaders of the 6 Lords Alliance and the Cloud Treasure Pavilion were seeking to sell treasures to raise the necessary cosmic sands, and the news gradually spread. Killing the Thousand-Eye Lord and demanding each of the 6 Lords Alliance and Cloud Treasure Pavilion to pay 500,000 cosmic sand? This news caused various forces within Huyang City to take note, and after quiet decades, Luo He's brash temperament remained unchanged. Lord Luo He, Lord Bai Wu and the Cloud Treasure Pavilion Master jointly visited Luo Feng at the Heavenly Flame Sect. Luo Feng's temporary residence at the Heavenly Flame Sect was no secret to the eternal true gods of Huyang City. Within a day they arrived. Luo Feng stood up with Shang Tianyan and Morosa beside him watching. We acted rashly and angered your divine highness, we beg for your forgiveness. Lord Bai Wu respectfully offered a jade vial. Here is 500,000 cosmic sand all gathered. Please quell your anger, divine one. The Cloud Treasure Pavilion Master, not daring to show any arrogance, similarly offered a jade vial. Here is 500,000 cosmic sand, and we have also properly settled those 2 families. Shang Tianyan watched the scene, reflecting inwardly. Shang Tianyan's disciples and those siblings from the Chiefing family rescued were all watching from a distance. The respectful visit of 2 major powers within Huyang City, handing over 500,000 cosmic sand, dared to show no resentment. The sight was profoundly impactful for the disciples and the Chiefing siblings. Alright, you can leave now. Luo Feng took the 2 jade vials. A sweep of divine power assured him that not a single grain of cosmic sand was missing. Lord Bai Wu and the Cloud Treasure Pavilion Master bowed and quickly took their leave. Once they had left, the distant onlookers among the disciples began buzzing with talk. Did you see the might of Lord Luo He? A woman beside Moyu Liuxing exclaimed. Liuxing, I heard you had a chance to follow Lord Luo He before? Did you give up on that opportunity? I chose not to risk it. Moyu Liuxing smiled at his wife. Though I gave it up, it was my elder brother who ended up following him, and I also met you, senior sister, here at the Heavenly Flame Sect. The woman smiled gently, expressing regret. But indeed, you missed a great opportunity. She felt a bit sorry for her husband. The path of cultivation, she knew well how important a great opportunity could be. Shang Tianyan and Luo Feng walked together within the Heavenly Flame Sect. 1 day's time, 1 million cosmic sand, and they willingly complied. This has certainly been an eye-opener, Shang Tianyan exclaimed. The 3 eternal true gods who had died, their families will likely face hard times ahead. Luo Feng mentioned, I know you will look after them, but since I gained wealth because of them, I must show some generosity. Luo Feng handed a jade vial to Shang Tianyan. Not much here, just 30,000 cosmic sand, you can use it to care for those 3 families. 30,000 cosmic sand is quite a lot. Ordinary eternal true gods would not have as much even if they sold all their treasures, Shang Tianyan said. It's just for settling the families, no need for too much. You see to the arrangements. Luo Feng placed the jade vial in Shang Tianyan's hands. Shang Tianyan no longer refused. Luo Feng looked toward the distant night sky. Next, I plan to enter seclusion for a while, you should be careful yourself. The wealth was sufficient for the third time of body refinement. Shang Tianyan laughed. Because you killed the Thousand-Eye Lord and forced the Six Lords Alliance and Cloud Treasure Tower to obediently offer compensation, who else would dare to target me? Luo Feng smiled. When Shi Kingdom's forces were capturing several formation masters, they specifically let Shang Tianyan go, which in itself was a statement. This Shi Kingdom's forces keep trying to befriend me, Luo Feng thought to himself. Chairman Zhan Yun also visited me several times, and this time they let go of Shang Tianyan, clearly placing great importance on me. But in the end I am bound to stand against Shi Kingdom. In the feud between my master and Shi Kingdom, I would definitely stand by my master, the mountain-sitting guest. Then I'll be leaving first. Contact me if there's anything you need, Luo Feng said. If I'm in seclusion and you have an urgent matter, you can contact Luo Sa. All right. Shang Tianyan nodded. Soon Luo Feng, accompanied by Morosa, quietly left the Heavenly Flame sect and headed for the Flame Wind Pavilion. Phew. Inside a small building in the Flame Wind Pavilion, the master of the Flame Wind Pavilion personally received Luo Feng. Brother Luo, he has really stirred up a storm today, forcing the Six Lords Alliance and Cloud Treasure Tower to compensate with a whopping 1,000,000 cosmic sand, said the master of the Flame Wind Pavilion, his voice cheerful. Probably every power within Huyang City is discussing this matter. It's a trivial matter, Luo Feng said. I'm here today to reserve a batch of artifact refiner materials. Reserve? The master of the Flame Wind Pavilion and the figure in the gray mist, the deputy pavilion master, were somewhat surprised. The Flame Wind Pavilion's inventory was extensive, and they could also transfer goods from other businesses within the city, so reservations were generally unnecessary, as materials could be brought over in just a few words. Luo Feng nodded and sent a detailed order using the Dark Hall's transmission order. According to our Flame Wind Pavilion's pricing, such an order would require 3.65 million cosmic sand, the deputy pavilion master said with surprise. These artifact refiner materials are rarely precious, most are common materials, but the sheer quantity indeed exceeds what the entire Huyang City can mobilize from its stores. The inventory of Huyang City's many businesses was indeed vast. But Luo Feng only needed a minority of the material types, yet it still amounted to 3.65 million cosmic sand. How long will it take? Luo Feng asked. Our Flame Wind Pavilion delivers every 10 days, the deputy pavilion master explained with a smile. The next delivery is in 2 days. It will directly be teleported in space-time to our pavilion. The master of the Flame Wind Pavilion also said, Brother Luo, your order is special. The volume is too large and not suited for local supplies. Space-time delivery is the most convenient. Alright, here are the 3.65 million cosmic sand. Luo Feng took out a jade vial he had prepared in advance, thankful he had obtained the funds from the Six Lords Alliance and Cloud Treasure Tower, or else he wouldn't have been able to afford it. The deputy pavilion master took it and said, I will personally deliver the materials to Brother Luo's cave dwelling in 2 days. Thank you, deputy pavilion master, Luo Feng nodded. An order of a few million cosmic sand was nothing significant to the headquarters of the Flame Wind Pavilion, not to mention dealings that reached over 100 million or even 10 billion cosmic sand. To them it was all small business. As the mountain-sitting guest was a godly king skilled in artifact refining, naturally he had some transactions with the Flame Wind Pavilion, dealings on the godly king level, much larger than what Luo Feng had just placed. Therefore Luo Feng was very straightforward with the reservation payment. After paying, Luo Feng took his leave. An eternal true god, purchasing such a large quantity of artifact refiner materials? The deputy pavilion master wondered aloud. Despite being well experienced, I can't understand what Lord Luo really wants to do. The master of the Flame Wind Pavilion also puzzled. All these materials piled up would be several times bigger than my unlimitable godly bodies. Could it be that he wants to refine a super large mechanical stream secret treasure? He and Shang Tianyan are close. Maybe he's also a master of artifact refining, potentially focusing on the path of artifact refining to ascend to the Primal Chaos Overlord? The deputy pavilion master speculated. Does he need to refine a large number of secret treasures to accumulate a foundation? Artifact refining, alchemy, formation, illusion technique? Each different path could lead to becoming a Primal Chaos Overlord. Luo Feng's orders for materials were vast and exceeded by far what any normal body refinement would require, naturally leading to much speculation from the master and deputy master of the Flame Wind Pavilion. Marquis Lu Yin of Shi Kingdom sent Yuqian Su and Yuqian Yi to Huyang City, the master of the Flame Wind Pavilion stated. Now in Huyang City, Shi Kingdom has 3 strong powers gathered, Shui Yun, Yuqian Su, and Yuqian Yi. Them being together, they surely won't sit idly. There must be a major plan in motion. Capturing 8 formation masters was just the beginning. The conflicts will only intensify from here, said the deputy pavilion master, but it's clear Shi Kingdom's forces are reluctant to provoke Lord Luo River. I hope the struggle between Yu Kingdom and Shi Kingdom in Huyang City doesn't destroy it, the master of the Flame Wind Pavilion sighed. A fight between 2 powerful nations could cause countless casualties with just a ripple of their conflict. The river of time flows ceaselessly forward, the deputy pavilion master remarked. Every moment countless creatures are born and countless die. When you step out of the river and stand peacefully on the bank, you see everything. Uncle, stop trying to talk like the elders of our clan, the master of the Flame Wind Pavilion said with a laugh. You're just an eternal true god. The deputy pavilion master made a face and moved aside, continuing to review the pavilion's business. 2 days later. The Deputy Pavilion Master personally visited and delivered the material worth 3.65 million cosmic sand. Thank you for your efforts, Deputy Pavilion Master. Luo Feng sent him off. Lucky there's such a supersized commercial house as the Flame Wind Pavilion. If we had to rely on those smaller businesses, gathering 3.65 million cosmic sands worth of various materials would probably be 1,000 times more troublesome, Luo Feng thought to himself. The matter of the Flame Wind Pavilion was a piece of cake, but even a small business association would likely struggle with it for an entire era. Merely this space-time transport of goods allowed direct delivery of goods from the Flame Wind ancient country to the Huyang branch. This space-time transport was locked to each branch. Only 2 ancient countries in the land of origin had the capability to perform this task. At that moment, Morosa was teaching Moyu Qingyan to comprehend the laws, when Luo Feng approached. Master, both Morosa and Moyu Qingyan greeted respectfully. I am preparing for a closed-door meditation for some time, Luo Feng said. Closed-door meditation? Morosa and Moyu Qingyan felt a burst of joy secretly, as it meant they would be free while Luo Feng was in seclusion. During my meditation I will cut off all communications and not allow any disturbances. If there really is something extremely urgent, Luo-sa, then you may notify me, Luo Feng instructed. Yes, Master, Morosa replied. He was Luo Feng's spiritual servant, able to communicate through telepathy. Having said that, Luo Feng entered the underground hall alone, released the star tower, entered the tower's space, and began his 3rd session of body refinement. As time passed, the situation within Huyang City became increasingly turbulent, with conflicts erupting continuously. The various forces in Huyang City realized that this time the conflict between the city owner's mansion and Shi Kingdom's forces was different from the past. One day, Moli Ming personally came outside the main entrance of Luo Feng's cave dwelling. Deputy City Lord Moli, as I've said before, the master is in closed-door meditation and is not seeing anyone, Morosa, who had just woken up, said. Now that Moyu Qingyan had gone home, he had to answer the door himself. I have something urgent. Is it possible to contact your master? Moli Ming asked continuously. How urgent? Morosa asked. Is Shang Tianyan about to die? Is Huyang City going to be destroyed? It's the city owner's mansion that wants to meet Lord Luo He and seek his help, Moli Ming said. Morosa shook his head repeatedly. The master has instructed not to disturb him unless it's a matter of utmost urgency. A request for help from the city owner's mansion? Such a trivial matter, he dared not disturb his master. Moli Ming looked at Morosa. Morosa looked innocently at Moli Ming. Well, Moli Ming had no other options as in the case of seclusion, only this servant could contact Lord Luo He. Not even the other servant, Moyu Qingyan, could make contact. Just make sure to contact me as soon as your master emerges from seclusion, Moli Ming said. You can rest assured on that point. I will immediately inform my master of this matter once he is out of seclusion, Morosa promised. Moli Ming could only leave helplessly. No matter how tumultuous the outside world was, Luo Feng focused solely on body refinement. The Primal Chaos Great Strength Diagram's highest level of the Eternal True God Tier 3rd body refinement utilized many mysteries of laws, posing an extremely high demand on the cultivator's realms. It was not only body refinement but also a form of cultivation. Luo Feng also prepared tens of thousands of cosmic sand materials as practice. Once fully prepared, Luo Feng officially began his 3rd body refinement. Luo Feng's godly body was akin to a super-large weapon secret treasure. The immense power of this super-large secret treasure was primarily due to its massive size, and its intricacy was quite ordinary actually. Now, Luo Feng was like drawing on a needle, further perfecting the entire super-big weapon secret treasure, where originally one formation diagram was present. Luo Feng might need to supplement several formation diagrams to make it operate more perfectly. The process was all clear, but it still required step-by-step patient refinement. Body refinement was extremely tedious. Mainly because Luo Feng's perfect divine body was so large, the work involved was exponentially more complicated. Luo Feng continued for over 30,000 days before it was successfully completed. A day in the land of origin spans about the duration of one Earth year. On Earth, it would equate to over 30,000 years of continuous body refinement. That was with Luo Feng's strong will and high efficiency. Otherwise, it would have taken much longer, showcasing the grand scale of body refinement. It's done. Luo Feng looked at his own godly body. After 3 rounds of body refinement in terms of intricacy, it now rivaled some ordinary eternal true God secret treasures. But this was a weapon secret treasure that stood 18 billion kilometers tall. With just a clench of his fist, a terrifying aftershock rippled through this space. Even without igniting divine power, I could easily tear apart a Huyang Legion with my bare hands, Luo Feng reflected inwardly. Reaching this step has truly unearthed the potential of the perfect divine body at the eternal true God tier. As for more powerful body refinement, that would be at the Primal Chaos Realm tier. This was something that eternal true gods couldn't possibly achieve. They might occasionally realize 1 or 2 powerful moves, but Primal Chaos tier body refinement required extremely high realm specifics. Even mastering the Primal Chaos laws and receiving inheritance necessitated careful contemplation to learn. How strong would my godly body be once I use Duanmie and ignite divine power? Luo Feng wasn't quite sure himself. Having been on the land of origin for over 20 years, Duanmie had also progressed significantly. Looking at the entire land of origin at the eternal true God tier, There are likely few who can rival me, Luo Feng thought. There might be some with a higher realm than his, but his advantage in terms of the godly body was indisputable. As for my godly body, I have no way to progress any further at the moment, Luo Feng thought. Moving forward, on one hand I need to cultivate the Lai Yuan technique, and strive to make a breakthrough in willpower as soon as possible. On the other hand, it's time to deepen my understanding of the laws, starting with comprehending a few Primal Chaos realm techniques. Understanding the Primal Chaos laws is not something that can be achieved overnight. It requires continuous accumulation, first by comprehending some Primal Chaos realm techniques and then through a lengthy period of accumulation until one day, there is a moment of enlightenment, and the complete law of Primal Chaos is understood. The path of cultivation through bloodline progression allows one to reach the Primal Chaos realm with the help of bloodline transformation, Luo Feng contemplated. But for me the only way forward is comprehending the Primal Chaos laws. I have already perfected the cultivation of the 3 secret techniques, Primal Chaos Great Strength Diagram, World-Breaking 9 Blades, and 9 Netherworlds at the level of an Eternal True God. Donghua and Duanmie at the Eternal True God level still have some parts one haven't fully grasped, and there's even more room for progress with the Lai Yuan technique. With a single thought, Luo Feng continued to maintain the Great Destruction Heart Refining technique, to further hone his will. This seemingly painful process had long since become something his spiritual will could handle. Sigh. While maintaining the honing of his will, Luo Feng's godly body returned to normal, and he then exited the Star Tower. Boom boom boom. As the underground palace doors opened, Morosa and Moyu Qingyan, who were inside the cave mansion, immediately came to greet him. Master. Luo Feng's perfect divine body could perfectly conceal all aura. Neither Morosa nor Moyu Qingyan could perceive any change in Luo Feng. Qingyan, haven't you been at home accompanying your father? Luo Feng asked with a smile. As soon as you went into seclusion he went back home to accompany his father to accompany his 2 brothers. But it wasn't long before he escaped back here, Morosa said with a laugh. Escaped back. Luo Feng was surprised. Moyu Qingyan could only explain, my eldest brother also got married recently. With both my eldest brother and 3rd brother married, they tried to play matchmaker, and many female cultivators took the initiative to visit. I was so overwhelmed that I had no choice but to flee back here. Many female cultivators took the initiative to visit? Luo Feng laughed. How many is many? Quite a few actually. Even a few bold female cultivators came right up to the entrance of your cave mansion, Morosa chuckled. Later, Qingyan asked me to step in and scare those female cultivators away. I have no interest in matters of the heart. I only wish to understand the 10 fundamental laws as soon as possible, Moyu Qingyan declared. Luo Feng nodded and smiled. That's also true. Once you become a true god of void space you will have endless life. There's indeed no need to rush things when it comes to matters of the heart. When you meet someone you truly like, your heart will tell you. Moyu Qingyan listened, but it was evident that he was firmly resolute and unwilling to get involved in matters of love. Luo Feng then inquired, has anything significant happened in Huyang City while I was in seclusion? Shang Tianyan didn't run into any trouble, did he? His days have been carefree, of course no one would go after him, Morosa replied. But there has been quite a shake-up within Huyang City, with the city owner's mansion and Sher Kingdom's forces clashing several times. Many died or were injured. Luo Feng nodded. The biggest commotion involved Gao Wushui. That leader Gao Wushui actually turned against his own family, Morosa said with a smile. What happened to him? Luo Feng was curious. Gao Wushui was Mo Li Zhao's favorite protege and had once attempted to capture Mei Wuqi. Luo Feng had a rather good impression of leader Gao Wushui. Gao Wushui, originally just an ordinary member of the Gao family, had long been marginalized. He later joined the Huyang Legion on his own as a common soldier and attracted the attention of Commander Mo Li Zhao, who thoroughly supported his growth, enabling his rapid ascent to eternal true godhood, Morosa explained. Not long ago the Gao family's clan leader, Gao Wei, hosted a banquet for Gao Wushui, but Gao Wushui turned on them during the meal, calling in the Huyang guards to seize the Gao family's clan leader and other core members, including his own father. To seize his own family's upper echelons and publicly declare that Gao Wei had sided with Sher Kingdom's forces, Morosa expressed with a sense of amazement. Treason. Gao Wushui clearly wanted these high-level members of the Gao family to die. In fact, soon after the clan leader was captured, he was executed. Luo Feng nodded. Gao Wushui left his family at a young age so his bond with them was very weak. Even so, Morosa added, the fact that he could carry out such harsh actions against his own family came as a shock to everyone in Huyang City. They suspect that Gao Wushui deliberately pinned the crime on them. You seem to know quite a lot, Luo Feng teased. I hear a lot when I'm out eating and drinking, Morosa replied. By the way, Deputy City Lord Moli paid a visit during your seclusion and asked that you contact him as soon as you emerged. Moli Meng? Luo Feng nodded and immediately sent a message to Moli Meng. It was just a short moment. Moli Xiao and Moli Meng arrived together, paying a personal visit to Luo Feng. Please have a seat, Luo Feng said inside the Mountain Summit Pavilion, sitting there while Moyu Qingyan helped pour the wine, and an array of exotic fruits was already set out. Lord Luo, he must already know that Sher Kingdom's forces have been stirring up trouble within Huyang City, Commander Moli Xiao began from his seat. Our city owner's mansion is also troubled by this, and today, as a representative of the city owner's mansion, I am here to request Lord Luo He's assistance. You're asking for my help? Luo Feng shook his head. I have no grievances with Shi Kingdom's forces, so why would I get involved? Moli Xiao nodded. I understand. Most local families in Huyang City don't want to get involved for fear of reprisal from the Shi Kingdom. But Lord Luo He, you're merely with 2 servants and have no attachments. Why fear the Shi Kingdom's forces? Since you are an eternal true god, the primal chaos overlord of Shi won't possibly bully the weak. Just facing some eternal true gods, Lord Luo He, surely you wouldn't care. Not fearing them doesn't mean I want to engage them in a battle to the death. Luo Feng refused. If we ask for Lord Luo He's help, naturally we come with sincerity, Moli Xiao said. Lord Luo He, you just need to garrison a location. The garrison will not exceed 1 era, and we are willing to offer 1 million cosmic sand. Garrisoning for 1 era? Luo Feng shook his head. That's too long. 1 million cosmic sand was something he could obtain himself. It wasn't very appealing. It's not necessarily for an entire era. If Shi Kingdom makes a move, just help us defend the crucial location, and the mercenary task will be deemed complete, Moli Xiao stated. Luo Feng replied, you should know that 1 million cosmic sand doesn't mean much to me. Yes, Brother Luo He managed to pressure the 6 Lords Alliance and Cloud Treasure Tower into paying 1 million cosmic sand within a day, Commander Moli Xiao said. However, the resources our city owner's mansion can mobilize are limited. I need a portion of Black Marsh Poison, Luo Feng said. If you're willing, I'll help. Otherwise, you had better find someone more capable. Black Marsh Poison? Commander Moli Xiao was surprised. Brother Luo He actually knows about the Black Marsh Poison, produced by Yu Kingdom? I've heard a little about it, Luo Feng said. The information provided by his master, mountain-sitting guest, and the intelligence from the Duandong River lineage allowed Luo Feng to have an understanding of the vast majority of ancient existences within the land of origin. He also knew that some of Yu Kingdom's special products, among which Black Marsh Poison, were very suitable for him. The Black Marsh Poison contained terrifyingly potent venom, but if a very small amount was ingested, it could be used to hone the spiritual will. A portion of Black Marsh Poison, as a product of Yu Kingdom, came at a relatively low cost since it was supplied to the offspring of major families on the land of origin. It rarely ended up in large cities. If Luo Feng wanted to pay extra to buy it, he'd generally have to pay several times the going rate to get it. I will discuss it with the city owner, Commander Moli Xiao said, his divine power incarnation at the city owner's mansion having a discussion about the matter with his companions. It wasn't long. The Black Marsh Poison is indeed a specialty of the Tsuming royal family. The city owner promises that he can apply for a portion of Black Marsh Poison, Commander Moli Xiao said. Good, Luo Feng nodded. Where do I need to garrison? Commander Moli Xiao showed a smile. With conditions met, this Lord Luo He could indeed be recruited. I'll take you there, Commander Moli Xiao nodded, and Moli Meng also smiled beside him. Within the city owner's mansion, the Lord of Huyang City, an elderly man with white hair, the divine power incarnation of Commander Moli Xiao, and a man with a single horn sat separately. This Luo He isn't afraid of our 5 great families, nor has he ever feared the forces of Shi Kingdom. Such a detached and powerful individual is easy to hire, the Lord of Huyang City said with a smile. But the fact that he knows about Black Marsh Poison suggests he is quite knowledgeable. With such strength, naturally, he has had some extraordinary encounters, the elderly man said. With him joining, our defensive force in the 3 Forbidden Lands will be quite sufficient, with no weaknesses. No one saw how he killed Ying Cang, so his strength might not be as high as you all imagine, the single-horned man said indifferently. In my opinion, there's no need to involve this Luo He. The city owner's mansion might be somewhat inferior in strength, but it's more reliable. Commander Moli Xiao explained, we have studied Luo He's temperament, and he is indeed trustworthy. Moreover, all 3 Forbidden Lands, not one can afford to be lost. Enough, the single-horned man said. After all, you 5 great families are responsible for Huyang City. Once this matter is resolved, I will return to the royal capital. Your efforts are appreciated, General Yong, the Lord of Huyang City, the elderly man, and Commander Moli Xiao all said politely. Among the ancient royals of Yu Kingdom, the single-horned man was in command of an army, much stronger than Commander Moli Xiao at the level of an eternal true god. Since even a godly king would have a hard time mobilizing a primal chaos overlord, when dispatching subordinates, it's generally someone like General Yong, a supremely strong eternal true god. If it weren't for having to deal with the forces of Shi Kingdom, I really would have liked to test Luo He's strength, the single-horned man murmured before leaving with a laugh. Fortunately, General Yong understands that the task is of greatest importance, the Lord of Huyang City said, shaking his head with a sigh. Otherwise, before clashing with the forces of Shi Kingdom, if he started a fight with Lord Luo He, it would have been a joke. General Yong, valued by the godly king, naturally knows what matters most, the elderly man said with a smile. In a vital location within Huyang City, one of Huyang's 10 great legions, the Jin Shao Legion, was garrisoned. A flying boat landed inside a building of the legion's camp, and 5 figures stepped out. It was Commander Moli Xiao, Moli Meng, Luo Feng, and 2 servants. The camp of the Jin Shao Legion? Luo Feng was surprised. Is this where I need to garrison? Yes. Commander Moli Xiao said, this appears to be just a campsite, but it is actually one of Huyang City's forbidden lands. On the surface, it's guarded only by one legion, but in reality 2 Huyang Guards teams are also hidden here. With your help, Brother Luo He, it is enough to secure this place. Luo Feng looked at the building in front of him and could sense that deep within the building, the atmosphere was much heavier. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. 3 figures hurried over, none other than the general of the Jin Shao Legion and the 2 leaders of the Huyang Guard. Commander, General Jin Shao and the 2 leaders of the Huyang Guard saluted respectfully. They also noticed Moli Meng, Luo Feng and the 2 servants. From now on, Lord Luo He will also be stationed here, Commander Moli Shao said. Carry on with the previous plan, Lord Luo He is free to move about in the camp. Yes, the 3 of them responded. Luo Feng observed them, his gaze lingering on one of the leaders of the Huyang Guard, who was precisely Gao Wushui. He and this Gao Wushui seemed to have quite a fate. Deliver what you've promised as soon as possible or I will leave, Luo Feng urged. Don't worry, what's due to you will not be short, Commander Moli Shao assured with a smile. The nearby General Jin Shao and the 2 leaders of Huyang Guard inwardly marveled. The highest commander of the Huyang Legion was usually very stern, but now he was exceedingly polite and friendly towards Lord Luo He. They all understood that even the combined strength of the Jin Shao Legion with the 2 Huyang Guard teams was probably no match for a single Lord Luo He. Lord Luo He was indeed the most important defensive force of this place. Commander Moli Shao instructed. The news that Lord Luo He is garrisoning this place must be kept secret by you 3. Yes, General Jin Shao and the 2 leaders of Huyang Guard respectfully replied. They had been positioned here because they were highly trusted. Brother Luo He, I have also arranged a residence for you early in this military camp. Commander Moli Shao led the way, leaving the building and going to a nearby elegant cave mansion. After all, a Huyang Legion contained more than 20 million true gods, so the military camp was naturally vast. The ordinary soldiers only knew this place as a military camp and were unaware of its true significance. Not bad, Luo Feng admired the cave mansion before him. To arrange such a mansion within a camp spanning hundreds of millions of kilometers was quite rare. The living conditions for the soldiers were much poorer, as they stayed inside the Legion mechanical secret treasure when on duty. If there's anything you need, just command, Brother Luo He, Moli Shao said. But you must not leave the camp, as Sure Kingdom's forces could attack at any time. Rest assured I will keep my promise, Luo Feng nodded. Then we will take our leave now. Moli Shao said with a smile, then left with Moli Meng. Luo Feng looked at the cave mansion, only 10,000 kilometers in length and width. Though not large, it was quite exquisite. From today we 3 will live here. Yes, master, Morosa and Moyu Qingyan responded. 5 days later, Moli Meng brought the black marsh poison. Lord Luo He, this black marsh poison is a deadly poison produced by a primal chaos level exotic beast. If you intend to consume it yourself, you must be careful. Start with no more than 1 drop at a time. Moli Meng handed a flask of black marsh poison to Luo Feng, solemnly saying, consuming too much could very likely be fatal. Now that the city owner's mansion was employing Lord Luo He, it would be a joke if he poisoned himself to death using the black marsh poison. Rest assured. Luo Feng, having inherited 2 lineages, was very clear on the usage of the black marsh poison. According to his estimation, his perfect divine body soul was already strong, and his spiritual will was far superior to that of a normal eternal true god. He feared that taking too little of the black marsh poison would barely affect him. From then on, Luo Feng secluded himself within the Jin Shao Legion's camp. The Jin Shao Legion and the 2 Huyang Guard troops continued their normal rotations. The ordinary members were entirely unaware of the site's significance. Only the army's general and deputy general, and the leaders and deputy leaders of the Huyang Guard knew the secrets. Sigh. Gao Wushui drove the flying boat back to his family's cave mansion and rested there, naturally with a deputy leader on guard duty. Clan leader. Clan leader. Inside the Gao Wu family mansion, numerous family members saw Gao Wushui and were extremely respectful. Gao Wushui, being the only eternal true god in the family currently and ruthless and brutal, had almost completely wiped out the previous senior members of the family. His deterrence within the family was evidently formidable. In the entire family, who wasn't afraid of him? Gao Wushui with a stern face went to a prison deep underground in the family domain, where the guards were extremely respectful. Leave, Gao Wushui instructed. The guards withdrew. Commander Gao Wu, you actually deigned to visit me? The man chained in the prison laughed loudly. You killed the clan leader and many elders, so why not kill me too? Do you still have any regard for the so-called father-son relationship? Imprisoning you till now and you still haven't figured it out, truly disappointing, Gao Wushui said coldly. What are you disappointed about? You want me, your father, to kneel and beg you? The man's expression was fierce. Without the family there is no you, you traitor to the family. You had 109 children, Gao Wushui said calmly, and I, merely a descendant left behind after a passionate encounter between you and a maid. I never saw you once after I was born, and later I left the family alone to venture out, then joined the Huyang Legion. It was my master who took notice and took me as his disciple. After my master accepted me as a disciple, you, my so-called father, saw me for the first time. That was our first meeting, Gao Wushui scoffed. Only then did you know about the suffering I had undergone in the family, only then did you know about my mother who had died silently within the family as a maid. Where were you when I was young? Where were you when my mother died? You dare talk about a father-son relationship? I am still your father. The man's expression was fierce. Without me there would be no you. All my growth has been fostered painstakingly by my master. And what you contributed was merely a moment of passion, Gao Wushui said. When I became an eternal true god, the family indeed knew to please me. You became an eternal true god. The family treated you well, did they not? The man angrily said. The clan leader was quite respectful when meeting you, right? But what did you do? Respect me? Gao Wushui shook his head. At first they put on an act, but at that banquet he actually wanted me to be an inside man for Sure Kingdom. I never expected the clan leader, a mere eternal true god, to have colluded with Sure Kingdom. You are slandering, the man retorted. At this moment I am not interested in slandering, Gao Wushui said. By wanting me to be an inside man, they didn't care whether I lived or died. Moreover, I would rather die than betray my master. Since they wanted me to be an inside man and didn't care about my life, all those in the family who colluded with Sure Kingdom must die, Gao Wushui said. And you, Gao Wutsui, you survive because you were oblivious, and because you are my father you have the privilege to cling to life. If you don't confess your errors willingly, then you can stay in this prison forever, Gao Wushui sneered. No matter which side the family allies with, you should not have betrayed the family, Gao Wutsui said. Betray the family? Gao Wushui sneered. Now I am the clan leader, the sole eternal true god of our family. As long as I live, our family will continue to exist. If I die, the family will immediately crumble and be ravaged by various forces. You claim loyalty to the family, then you should be loyal to me. I am your father. Gao Wutsui couldn't bear his son's attitude. In this world, my mother gave birth to me, my master devoted his energy to raising me. And you, what are you worth? Gao Wushui turned and walked away. Within Huyang City, a hidden underground hall in an ordinary cave mansion. Shui Yun, Yu Tiansu and Yu Tianyi gathered here. We have tried every means to gather information on the 3 forbidden areas, Shui Yun said, but the city owner's mansion has tightened information. Those guarding the forbidden areas are their core members and are very hard to buy. It's easy to buy over Gao Wu Wei from the Gao Wu family, but he did such a poor job that not only did he fail to persuade Gao Wushui, but he also lost his own life. Yu Tiansu shook his head. A waste dying is just that, he died, Yu Tianyi said. Divine Monarch Shui Yun, we've also collected information for so long, when do we act? We've prepared for so long, it's time to make a move, said Shui Yun. Yu Tiansu and Yu Tianyi's eyes lit up. How do we act? Yu Tiansu pressed. Our target is the 3 restricted areas, Shui Yun said. The city owner's mansion evidently has only one Moli Shao, they may have hidden forces. But the 3 of us together are not afraid of the city owner's mansion at all. If we can infiltrate and destroy one forbidden area, the overall power of the Huyang City array will drastically decrease. There are many critical nodes in the Huyang City array. Damage to ordinary nodes has little impact on the array. But the 3 forbidden areas are the core. I will tell you the detailed plan of action on the day we move, Shui Yun said. Good, we will follow brother Shui Yun. Both Yu Tiansu and Yu Tianyi were confident. Yu Tiansu, because of awakening a special bloodline, his godly body was considered the pinnacle of eternal true god within the bloodline cultivation pathway. Shui Yun, who had seen much and was knowledgeable, thought that Yu Tiansu's godly body was possibly comparable to unlimited godly bodies. Of course, unlimited godly bodies had great potential both in the primal chaos realm and at the godly king level, playing a significant role. But the bloodline cultivation pathway, once breaking through to primal chaos overlord, reached its limit and had much less potential. However, this did not hinder Yu Tiansu's extraordinary current strength. And Yu Tianyi, as one of the 5 gods of Yu Tian, was also on the same level as Commander Moli Shao. 3 strong allies together naturally had great confidence. Within a refined cave mansion inside the vast camp of the Jinshao Legion, Luo Feng held a flask of wine. Gulping. He drank a couple of sips and immediately felt the poison permeating his soul, making his spiritual will waver. Luo Feng was also practicing the Great Destruction heart refining technique, repeatedly trying to erode his own will. Duandong River lineage has a tradition of tailoring black marsh poison, making the effects of the black marsh poison even stronger, thought Luo Feng. Using black marsh poison as the base, adding some ingredients and blending it into fruit wine, he could concoct a uniquely flavored wine. It was even more effective for cultivating spiritual will. My soul is too strong and my spiritual will even stronger. Relying purely on poison is too consuming, Luo Feng thought. Black marsh fruit wine combined with the Great Destruction heart refining technique gives the best results, and also saves on black marsh poison. Such cultivation for normal cultivators would be unbearably painful. But Luo Feng's will had been honed by numerous trials, especially the excruciating pain of accepting the Star Tower as his master, which was far beyond his current pain. After all, no normal refining method could reach the level of pain experienced during the Star Tower acceptance. Thus to Luo Feng this bit of pain was rather enjoyable, even a fun part of his cultivation. Master, are we going to stay here for an era? Moli Meng came over, somewhat reluctantly. As your servant, it doesn't matter much to me, can I perhaps go out for a while? Previously often indulging in pleasures in the city, now staying long-term in the military camp, Moli Meng was getting a bit restless. Look at you, Luo Feng shook his head, you can't even muster this bit of patience, your spiritual will is really quite average. I am just enjoying life timely, what does that have to do with spiritual will? Moli Meng retorted. I, the master, am staying here guarding and you, the servant, want to go out and enjoy? Luo Feng looked at him. Don't you think you're being a bit unreasonable? Molly Ming looked down. Just wait until Sure Kingdom's forces attack, or until a full era passes, Luo Feng said. Suddenly, without warning, a dreadfully cold chill descended, in an instant covering the entire area of the Jinshao Legion's camp. During this night, the vast camp, spanning hundreds of millions of kilometers, was completely covered in frost. Has it come so soon? Luo Feng looked up, surprised. Finally it's here. Molly Ming exclaimed with joy. Protect Qingyan, Luo Feng instructed as he stepped out of the cave mansion with a wine pot in hand. Don't worry, master, Morosa said, standing beside Moyu Qingyan and looking up at the frost covering the sky. The formation of the cave mansion operated on its own, sheltering both Morosa and Moyu Qingyan. Moyu Qingyan was somewhat nervous. Lord Luo Sa, shouldn't I hide inside the flying boat? When the critical moment comes, I will take you into the flying boat's secret treasure. As for now, just watch the battle at ease, Morosa said with a smile, gazing into the distance. Sure Kingdom's forces are attacking, and this great battle is indeed spectacular. Moyu Qingyan glanced at Morosa beside him, feeling uneasy. Lord Luo Sa was merely a true god of void space. If they were affected by the imposing might of the Sure Kingdom's forces, both of them would likely turn into ashes. Since Master has arranged it this way, he must trust Lord Luo Sa. Moyu Qingyan felt helpless and could only anxiously watch the battle, silently hoping they would not be affected. At this moment, Luo Feng reached a core building nearby in just a few steps. This building's deep underground was the entrance to the Forbidden Land. As long as I guard this entrance, no one shall pass. Luo Feng stood at the entrance of the building, watching as billions of snowy white threads descended in the night sky. Countless threads intertwined, forming a heavenly net that instantly bound 3 giant mechanical treasures soaring into the sky. The Jinshao Legion was the largest in size, taking on the form of the Jinshao, exotic beast. When enveloped by the snowy heavenly net, it too tried to tear the net apart. The 2 mechanical stream secret treasures controlled by Huyang guards were the 3-sword sky-splitting beast and the saber-winged devouring insect. Although slightly less powerful, they were equally fierce. Rustle, rustle, rustle. Bound by the snowy heavenly net, the 3 giant mechanical treasures clearly had their strength greatly diminished. What a heavenly net! Luo Feng took a small sip of wine at the entrance, feeling increasingly stimulated. Such a binding move is enough to defeat the Blood Python Association leader. The expert who deployed this must be not much different from Mo Li Xiao. Underneath the immense snowy heavenly net, a figure condensed into existence, a woman with a frost body. Her body was made of solid ice and her gaze was even colder. Jinshao Legion and the 2 divisions of Huyang guards, you dare to stop me? Yu Qinyi's voice echoed everywhere. Attack. Kill. Destroy this place. With thunderous roars, 4 figures had already charged into the camp. Presumptuous. The gigantic Jinshao, still frighteningly powerful even while tangled by the heavenly net in the sky, bellowed. It triggered the might of the Huyang City formation. Above the camp, mysterious formations began to appear. Luo Feng looked up and saw layers of formations materialize in the sky. Some flickered with golden light, some churned with black energy, and some radiated purple glows. Many formations complemented each other perfectly, as if they formed an abyssal vortex. This vast abyssal vortex formation descended, covering the entire camp and causing the powerful heavenly net to shrink involuntarily. The formation of Huyang City is indeed tricky. Under its suppression, I've lost 30% of my strength, and other eternal true gods have suffered even greater losses. Yu Qinyi immediately felt the terrifying power of the formation. Aided by the formation, the might of the gigantic Jinshao and both the 3-sword sky-splitting beast and the saber-winged devouring insect greatly surged as they attacked Yu Qinyi in midair. Relying on mechanical stream secret treasures for such power, yet your moves are quite crude, Yu Qinyi looked on with disdain. With a stretch of her arms, giant cold ice blade edges began to condense in midair. Kill. Through the long years she crafted her blade technique. 9 giant cold ice blades tore through the sky, attacking the gigantic Jinshao, 3-sword sky-splitting beast, and saber-winged devouring insect from all sides. These cold ice blades were fearsomely powerful, with techniques that were exceedingly intricate. She is Yu Qinyi from the 5 gods of Yuqian of the Zhu Clan. General Jinshao communicated to the leaders of the Huyang Guard. She has already grasped Primal Chaos blade skills. And with the mechanical treasure she's refined of frost body. Even if we join forces we can't defeat her, we can only seek self-preservation. Guarding the Forbidden Land is now Lord Luo He's responsibility. Yu Qinyi. The 2 leaders of the Huyang Guard also felt immense pressure. The Jiujiang Primal Chaos Prefecture of Yu Kingdom bordered the Luyin Primal Chaos State of Sure Kingdom. Luyin Primal Chaos State was the Marquis Lu Yin's fief. Among the Marquis's renowned eternal true gods, numbering just over 10, the 5 gods of Yuqian were included, and each of them was difficult to handle, capable of overpowering several legions on their own. Within the core city owner's mansion of Huyang City, Lord of Huyang City, Mo Li Xiao, a white-haired old man, and the one-horned man General Yong, all 4 incarnations of divine power, were present, observing the scenes, monitoring the entire city. Several ordinary residential areas throughout the city have been attacked. Lord of Huyang City observed the monitors, where numerous eternal true gods hiding their presence were rampaging through the residential areas, wantonly slaughtering. Those ordinary residential areas were inhabited by true gods, residing free of charge. Each true god's living area was generally not wider than a kilometer. Merely tens of thousands of kilometers in scope could house over 100 million citizens, showing the high density of residents. These regular residential areas, although protected by formations, could not withstand the onslaught of these top eternal true gods. The formations were rapidly breached, and the true gods living within stood no chance of resistance, turning directly to ashes and smoke. Boom! The wanton destruction within the city made the faces of the Lord of Huyang City and his companions turn ugly. "We have already dispatched the Huyang guards," Moli Xiao said. "They are intentionally causing destruction within the city to force us to deploy the Huyang guards and thus spread our forces thin." "The Sher Kingdom really has no bottom line," the one-horned man said coldly. "They do not care about slaughtering the city's inhabitants to achieve their goals." "We must protect the city's inhabitants," the Lord of Huyang City said. "The residential areas are too densely populated. Such rampant slaughter will cause panic within the city, and if the Marquis hears of it, he will punish us severely." In the past, Mei Wuqi's massacre of hundreds of millions was atrocious, but his most substantial abduction happened when the regular city Fangzhou City was breached by exotic beasts. The inhabitants were about to flee in all directions, allowing him to capture hundreds of millions in one fell swoop. Although he also committed atrocities within Huyang City, he was much more cautious, abducting only a small number each time, sometimes even requiring the leader of Huyang Guard, Qin Yuchong, to assist, precisely to keep it discreet and avoid causing panic. Such rampant slaughter by the Sher Kingdom's forces, if too many were killed, would cause panic among the city inhabitants. Many would flee the city, unwilling to reside there any longer, affecting the collection of residence fees. Both the Marquis of Zhejiang and the God Kings would not allow such things to happen. All three forbidden areas have been attacked. The forces dispatched by the Sher Kingdom this time are indeed formidable, including Shui Yun, Yu Tiansu, and Yu Tianyi. The Lord of Huyang City turned to the three individuals beside him. "I will garrison the city owner's mansion. The forbidden areas are up to you now." "The city owner's mansion is the most critical," the one-horned man stated indifferently. "You need not worry about the three forbidden areas." Luo Feng was originally holding a wine jar, standing guard in front of the forbidden area's palace, leisurely watching the fight between the three mechanical flow secret treasures and the experts from Sher Kingdom high above. But when the Huyang City formation erupted with terrifying power, out of the 5 eternal true gods from Sher Kingdom that came attacking, only Yu Tianyi and one who wielded thunder continued trying to head towards the forbidden area. Meanwhile, the other 3 eternal true gods from Sher Kingdom retreated explosively, fleeing to the regular residential zones next to the military camps. They instantly acted to tear apart the formations protecting the residential areas. "Deserve to die." Luo Feng's expression turned cold, and the wine jar in his hand disappeared. At this moment, the 3 eternal true gods who fled outside the camp moved apart, and they were also quite far away from Luo Feng. Standing at the doorway of the hall, Luo Feng suddenly donned a golden armor. Pairs of golden wings unfolded behind him, and at the same time, under the drive of his perfect divine power, the might of the Sha Wu wings had already stirred up primal chaos. The primal chaos realm technique of Sha Wu wings, control primal chaos. At this moment, Luo Feng was not being conservative with his perfect divine power. He wildly transformed and consumed energy, causing the scope of control primal chaos to be exceptionally vast. The power of chaos descended within tens of billions of kilometers around him. A vast amount of matter and energy began disintegrating back into chaotic power. Yu Tianyi, who was originally alone in besieging the 3 gigantic mechanical flow secret treasures, perceived a change in her face as she noticed the forces of heaven and earth reverting to primal chaos around her. The thick primal chaos current was incredibly heavy. Such a powerful primal chaos domain, not good. Yu Tianyi realized the danger. Her frost body naturally did not fear such restraints, but her subordinates would likely suffer in the face of such might. The 3 eternal true gods who fled to the regular residential district, intending to carry out a massacre to force the Jin Shao Legion and Huyang guards to stop them, suddenly discovered that the forces of heaven and earth around them were reverting to primal chaos. Endless primal chaos currents surrounded them. The primal chaos currents seemed sentient as they bound and squeezed them. No. These 3 eternal true gods had their own strengths, and in terms of power, they were not inferior to He Duomo. If they could amass enough merit points, there was hope that the Marquis would award them a mechanical flow secret treasure. It's easy to obtain merit points in enemy cities, but it requires taking risks. After taking risks too many times, death is a possibility. Under the terrifyingly oppressive primal chaos currents, the 3 top eternal true gods shattered to pieces in their terror. Standing before the hall, Luo Feng frowned slightly. "Of these 3 eternal true gods, my control primal chaos only managed to crush 2 true gods' hearts. The body of the other eternal true god did not contain a true god's heart." Luo Feng knew well that some eternal true gods who possessed the source of law were somewhat special, or their inherited cultivation was special, allowing them some life-saving secret techniques. The life-saving secret law, Undying River, of the Duandong River lineage was even more impressive. However, as the perfect divine body Luo Feng, he did not need such techniques. "Pity I couldn't eradicate evil thoroughly, killing only 2, Luo Feng's gaze swept over to Yu Qin-yi in the air and the other thunder-wielding eternal true god who was being suppressed. Lord Luo He. Yu Qin-yi's eyes sparkled with fighting intent. Merely a domain couldn't intimidate her. Luo Feng was originally enjoying the battle while drinking wine, as there might be conflicts between Shi Kingdom's forces in the future due to his master, the mountain-sitting guest. However, he had no significant hostility towards other cultivators from Shi Kingdom. But when they began slaughtering the weak true gods, Luo Feng's killing intent surged. It's each to their own when nations battle, but to slaughter the weak, what a bunch of scum. Luo Feng's eyes grew cold as he started searching for Yu Qin-yi's bounty in the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall. The bounties in Huyang City listed were all from the Flame Wind Association's Huyang branch. Other large cities or even other nations would not actively send bounties to all clients. Yu Qin-yi's bounty amounts to 500,000 cosmic sands? Luo Feng instantly looked it up and immediately accepted the bounty. Not everyone could have a bounty, for even the lowest reward required 10,000 cosmic sands. If the mission wasn't completed, the bounty would have to remain with the Flame Wind Pavilion. Thus, the vast majority of eternal true gods had no bounty at all. Up till now, Luo Feng had no bounty on him. This Lord Luo He, just with his domain moves, could kill a top-level eternal true god. Is his mechanical stream's secret treasure quite special? Yu Qin-yi speculated. Some composite mechanical stream secret treasures could refine divine power to match the primal chaos divine power, and when deploying the primal chaos moves, they could display such might. Before his death, the Blood Python Association leader transmitted a message saying that Luo He's mechanical stream secret treasure is worth at least 5 million cosmic sands. Perhaps it's true, Yu Qin-yi thought, which stirred her interest. Yu Qin-yi glanced below, where at this moment she only had one subordinate left alive, which was the eternal true god who controlled thunder. This eternal true god, who possessed the mechanical stream secret treasure core of thunder, had cultivated it through long years to reach an extremely high potential. In terms of strength, he was not inferior to the Blood Python Association leader. But now, with the Huyang City formation suppressing him and being oppressed by the primal chaos domain of Sha Wu Wings, he fell to the ground, bound and compressed by the primal chaos currents, unable to move. Lord Yu Qin, save me, the eternal true god cried out for help through mental transmission. Whoosh. Streams of snow-white silk threads condensed in the void, wrapping around the eternal true god and swiftly flying him away. You go first, I'll try this. Lord Luo He, Yu Qin-yi with her frost body, stood in midair and transmitted from afar. Be careful, Lord Yu Qin, the fleeing thunder eternal true god sighed in relief. Escape. Luo Feng, standing at the temple door, moved. With just one step, using the Myriad Realms escape command he had obtained from Ying Cang, he instantly teleported through the void, emerging near the thunder eternal true god wrapped in abundant snow-white silk threads. No, the thunder eternal true god couldn't believe that Luo Feng had suddenly appeared beside him. Umph. Luo Feng extended his hand, his 5 fingers sharp as blades, piercing through the wrapped snow-white silk threads and directly into the chest of the eternal true god, seizing his true god's heart. Thump. The true god's heart shattered. Luo Feng also collected the corpse and leftover items, with the snow-white silk threads naturally dissolving into nothingness. Then Luo Feng looked towards Yu Qin-yi in the distance. Yu Qin-yi didn't care about the death of her subordinate. She stared at Luo Feng and said, "Traversing the void? Does the city owner's mansion trust you that much to give you the power to traverse the void?" Even when hiring strong warriors, the city owner's mansion usually remained cautious to prevent the hired from turning against them at the last moment. Yu Qin-yi, are you ready to die? Luo Feng said. I haven't met an eternal true god who can kill me yet. Yu Qin-yi sneered as she suddenly erupted with numerous cold ice blades around her, blasting the massive Jin Xiao, the 3-sword sky-splitting beast, and the saber-winged devouring insect away. I heard your blade technique has reached the level of the Chaos Realm? Conveniently, I also know a few blade techniques, Luo Feng said. You know blade techniques too? Yu Qin-yi, with a flash, had already thrown off the massive Jin Xiao, the 3-sword sky-splitting beast, and the saber-winged devouring insect. This left Jin Xiao, Gao Shui, and others feeling somewhat exhausted as, even with controlling Legion's mechanical stream secret treasures, they were still comprehensively outclassed by such a powerful eternal true god. 3 against 1, even with the help of Huyang City formation, they were suppressed. Now shaking them off was also effortless. Die. Yu Qin-yi rushed to attack, concentrating 9 cold ice blades in front of her. The 9 blades, seemingly able to cleave heaven and earth, enveloped her with an unrivaled might. Luo Feng felt that the space around him was completely sealed. With the 9 blades before him, there was no escape. Regarding sneak attacks and assassinations, Ying Cang has an advantage, but in a head-on battle Yu Qin-yi is even more formidable, Luo Feng thought. Unable to avoid the confrontation, he didn't even try to, judging the opponent's momentum through the sensation of the primal chaos domain. Only when the 9 cold ice blades approached did Luo Feng suddenly charge upward, his eyes flashing fiercely, 10 directions infinite. Facing the assault of the 9 incoming cold ice blades, Luo Feng used his godly body as a blade, executing the only purely defensive blade technique from world-breaking 9 blades called 10 Directions Infinite Blade. Buzz buzz buzz, Luo Feng's entire godly body was like a blade, horrific vigor circulating on the surface forming thick layers of blade shadows. The blade shadows layered heavily, making Luo Feng's figure appear blurry. Yu Qianyi was confident in her strength, and the 9 cold ice blades aimed to slice through everything, chopping down on Luo Feng. As these blades cut through the layers of blade shadows, their power was significantly reduced, and when they finally struck Luo Feng's godly body, the skin of his thrice-refined perfect divine body showed only some marks, which disappeared almost instantly, leaving no trace of any wounds. Using the physical body to execute 10 Directions Infinite Blade, to withstand her blade techniques, it still broke the skin a bit, Luo Feng thought. After over 2 decades of cultivation, Luo Feng was much stronger than when he had first encountered Ying Cang. Thus, he did not use the Duanmie to burn divine power, merely displaying the capabilities of his thrice-refined perfect divine body. This scene made Yu Qianyi, who had been attacking fiercely, suddenly stop, somewhat shocked. What kind of protective maneuver is this? The heavy blade shadows protecting him, my proud ultimate move, couldn't even injure him. 10 Directions Infinite Blade is still not strong enough, Luo Feng thought. World-breaking 9 blades eternal level 6 blades became increasingly complex the further one progressed. Apart from the earlier Blade of Life and Death, Return to Ruin Saber and Reincarnation Blade which were relatively simple, the subsequent 3 aspects Shadow Blade, Heaven Split in 5 Directions Blade, and 10 Directions Infinite Blade, all involved multiple integrations of concepts, deepening Luo Feng's understanding of the laws of primal chaos. But it was still far from the true Chaos Realm Saber technique. Luo He, it seems you have a set of combined mechanical stream secret treasures, adept in domain, protection and fleeing. Yu Qianyi sneered coldly, what skill is there in relying on treasures? I'm not playing with you today. Whoosh. Yu Qianyi immediately soared into the sky. Thinking of leaving? Luo Feng instantly traversed the void, suddenly appearing right in front of Yu Qianyi as she flew. I knew you would traverse the void. Yu Qianyi was well prepared. At a thought, countless snow-white threads interwoven into a vast net-like trap enveloped Luo Feng, trapping him while she swiftly flew toward the distant night sky. A blade suddenly appeared in Luo Feng's hand, the endless might contained within his thrice-refined body fully infused into this emperor-level blade embryo. Blade light flashed. A blade light that seemed to tear the heavens and the earth emerged, ripping apart the snow-white net and aiming to tear through the fleeing Yu Qianyi. With a nimble dodge, Yu Qianyi barely avoided most of it, but her arm was merely grazed by the blade light and was instantly annihilated. The might of this blade shocked Yu Qianyi. How can it be so powerful? He seems even more fierce than my second brother. Luo Feng followed the blade light, his thrice-refined perfect divine body providing terrifying speed, coupled with the myriad realms escape command's control over space. He rapidly closed the distance. Yu Qianyi couldn't evade. This is bad. Yu Qianyi felt an unstoppable terrifying figure crashing into her. Bang. The frost body was smashed apart, completely shattering. Luo Feng moved through her exploded body before finally stopping, his brow slightly furrowed as he looked around. She crafted a frost body to come and assassinate me. Her true body isn't actually here. Luo Feng carefully sensed all directions. Moreover, she is not within my primal chaos domain. Her true body hiding away, the one coming to battle was merely a body condensed from the power of frost, making it too difficult to kill her. This was merely a maneuver by an eternal true god. Those ancient primal chaos overlords would spend much thought on life-saving secret laws and even reincarnation techniques. Even a godly king wouldn't dare claim they could completely kill a primal chaos overlord. They might seem dead on the surface but could resurrect somewhere or maybe even reincarnate. Like Master Mountain-sitting guest who chose reincarnation, severing karma through reincarnation. Unless he exposed himself, no one would recognize him. Thus, the rulers of Sure Kingdom have a formidable hidden enemy. Invading and annexing other divine kingdoms come with many problems. Choosing this path, Sure Kingdom must be prepared to deal with these problems. This time, out of the 5 eternal true gods from Sure Kingdom, only 3 were killed. Luo Feng landed. Truly killing them is indeed not easy. Lord Luo He. The attacking forces of Sure Kingdom are completely routed. The giant Jin Shao, 3-sword sky-splitting beast, and saber-winged devouring insect arrived excitedly, truly deserving of the title Lord Luo He, utterly overpowering with just one move. Luo Feng wasn't very excited, having accepted Yu Qianyi's bounty, still unable to deal with her effectively. Such a powerful battle fluctuation. Luo Feng sensed other terrifying fluctuations erupting far from Huyang City, especially the one southwest. There must be a battle between 2 supremely powerful beings. Without burning divine power, I might fall short of them. The terrible confrontation in that southwest area exceeded the level of Yu Qianyi and Ying Cang. Moli Xiao, I sense intense fighting in the southwest area of Huyang City. Do you need my help? Luo Feng transmitted, I've already routed Sure Kingdom's forces here. Lord Luo He, please continue to garrison the forbidden area. Sure Kingdom's forces may return to launch a sneak attack at any moment, Moli Xiao responded. Now that Huyang City is under attack from various factions of Sure Kingdom, once the city calms down, Lord Luo He will have completed his employment. Understood, Luo Feng replied. He understood that, on one hand, the city owner's mansion had a detailed plan, and the defending force was sufficiently strong, so his help was not required. On the other hand, as a hired cultivator, he knew the trust the city owner's mansion had in him was limited. I had hoped to exchange blows with a few more masters, what a pity. Luo Feng stepped back to the entrance of the forbidden area and took up his post, beginning to reflect on the previous battle. The divine power of Yu Qianyi was far inferior to his, and even the power of frost unleashed by the mechanical flow secret treasure was not as good as his perfect divine body. Her blade technique, Luo Feng recollected, has a profound influence on space, fundamentally different from the effects of the myriad realms escape command on space. Luo Feng pondered and understood. The path to the primal chaos laws was not easy. Luo Feng, who had been an eternal true god for just over 2 decades, did not have as much realm accumulation as Yu Tianyi, Yu Tiansu, Shui Yun, and the others. Luo Feng would learn from his opponents, allowing himself to grow faster. We've won this forbidden area. The other 2 areas are still in the midst of battle. The Jin Shao Legion, the 3-sword sky-splitting beast, and the saber-winged devouring insect were also communicating, feeling much at ease. Lucky for us to have Lord Luo He, otherwise, just us alone would likely have needed to call for reinforcements. Lord Luo He truly holds to his promises, even going so far as to kill several eternal true gods of Sher Kingdom. That eternal true god who wielded thunder, likely had a mechanical flow treasure, which also ended up in Lord Luo He's hands. Earning a couple of million cosmic sand for Lord Luo He really seems like a trivial task. They conversed through voice transmission, quite envious. Although the side of the city owner's mansion thought it highly unlikely for Lord Luo He to betray them, they still took precautions. Should Lord Luo He betray them, the city owner's mansion would immediately mobilize forces to support them. Boom. Boom. In the night sky, 2 towering figures collided and battled each other. One was Moli Shao controlling the Legion mechanical secret treasure, 6-armed divine owl, and the other was the towering true body of Yu Tiansu, who had already started burning divine power, wielding a long staff. With each collision, their might seemed to make heaven and earth tremble. This Yu Tiansu truly deserves to be the head of the 5 gods of Yu Tian. His godly body has been cultivated to an inconceivable extent, perhaps not even the unlimited godly bodies can compare. Moli Shao was shocked. I'm controlling the Legion, and even with the aid of the Huyang City formation, I can only barely injure him. Yu Tiansu did not bother defending, attacking with each move as if causing a great collision between heaven and earth, ferociously and violently. Those light injuries would be instantaneously recovered by his godly body. Moli Shao was also quite troubled for a while. Facing me, Divine Monarch Shui Yun only has a realm advantage and poses no threat to my godly body, Yu Tiansu said confidently. As one who possessed a godly body considered among the most formidable at the eternal true god level, and having also cultivated his divine power dharma to an extremely high level, Yu Tiansu feared nothing once he unleashed his full strength. Yu Tiansu, retreat, Divine Monarch Shui Yun suddenly messaged. Retreat? Yu Tiansu questioned, replying through messaging, why retreat? Yu Tianyi has failed on her end, and over here I've encountered Great General Yong Hu from the royal capital of Yu Kingdom. I need to flee too. If you don't retreat, you might be surrounded and attacked. Retreat quickly, Divine Monarch Shui Yun responded. Although Divine Monarch Shui Yun served Marquis Lu Yin of Sher Kingdom, he had never really fought for his life in Huyang City. He had only ever used a fraction of his strength, 5 parts perhaps, which was enough to intimidate Huyang City and to demand an abundance of resources from Marquis Lu Yin. With the conflict between the 2 kingdoms, their backing powers are endless. The more I reveal, the heavier the responsibilities I will have to shoulder, and the stronger the opponents I will encounter. Who knows, I may even die one day. By hiding some of my strength I can live longer. My goal isn't to fight to the death for Sher Kingdom, but to gain resources for a breakthrough into the Primal Chaos realm. Divine Monarch Shui Yun was very clear about what he wanted. In the land of origin, generally each large city is home to several incredibly strong eternal true gods. But Divine Monarch Shui Yun didn't take them seriously, for his realm cultivation had already reached unfathomably deep levels. Even Yu Tiansu and Yu Tianyi believed that he should be one step into the Primal Chaos realm. I cultivate both my bloodline and laws, and furthermore I've deduced 9 moves from the Primal Chaos realm. Looking at all the eternal true gods in the whole of Sher Kingdom, it's hard to find one with a higher realm than mine. Yet even so, I have still not made a breakthrough. Divine Monarch Shui Yun stared at the formidable being before him. This time in Huyang City, I finally encountered someone whose strength is not inferior to mine. The 3 forbidden lands were guarded by Luo Feng, Moli Shao, and an old man with white hair. Great General Yong Hu was a hidden strength. After the 3 forbidden lands were attacked, Great General Yong Hu chose to assault Divine Monarch Shui Yun, because this time Divine Monarch Shui Yun's unleashed strength was somewhat frightening and threatened the forbidden lands. You won't escape today. Great General Yong Hu was filled with a killing intent. He had cultivated unlimited godly bodies and was an eternal true god with exceptional talent throughout the entire Yu Kingdom, highly valued by the godly king. He had also learned many skills and laws from the godly king. His cultivation in the realm had already reached a very high level, and he had also comprehended moves from the Primal Chaos realm. With unlimited godly bodies, the godly king's legacy, realm, will and treasures, General Yong had no weaknesses. This Shui Yun's godly body is not as good as mine, General Yong thought intensely with killing intent, but his accumulated realm cultivation is even above mine, using various moves in an unpredictable and enigmatic manner. Thankfully, the Huyang City formation is aiding me, and today I finally have the chance to kill him. If it weren't for the assistance of Huyang City formation, General Yong would not be able to do anything to his opponent. General Yong, you're just taking advantage of the formation, Divine Monarch Shui Yun said with a slight smile. and suddenly his body transformed into rolling blood waves, sweeping over a vast area in an instant. Luo Feng, with the help of the mechanical flow secret treasure Life Blood River, could also turn into a stretch of blood river. But Divine Monarch Shui Yun had combined several Primal Chaos Realm moves, allowing his godly body to be completely transformed into an endless blood wave, which was far more exquisite in application than Luo Feng's mere driving of the mechanical flow secret treasure. General Yong was startled. Suppress. With a shout from General Yong, a gigantic, illusory stamp descended in the night sky, slamming down on the blood wave beneath, causing parts of the blood wave to be annihilated. The remaining vast majority of the blood wave spread in all directions, instantly engulfing a range of billions of miles. It devoured all life within those billions of miles, whether it was those living true gods or the true gods of the void space, swallowing everything with the expanse of the blood wave still expanding. Insolence. General Yong's expression changed as the single wave of the blood wave devoured more than 1 billion creatures. General Yong, I admit you have more treasures than me and have formations to aid you. If we keep this up, I won't be able to escape. But when you finally kill me, how many creatures do you think I can massacre? 500 billion, 1,000 billion? Haha, massacring so many creatures, can you handle the consequences? Divine Monarch Shui Yun's voice boomed and echoed through every part of the blood wave. As the giant illusory seal crushed the blood wave, the rolling waves continued to sweep across regions. No. Save me. What's happening? Countless creatures faced sudden calamity, vanishing in an instant within the blood wave. Get lost. General Yong's face darkened as the illusory seal in the sky retracted and fell into his palm, and the might of the formation was also withdrawn. Haha, General Yong is truly wise. The rolling blood wave scattered and disappeared without a trace. General Yong remained in place, quite unwilling to let it go. General Yong. An elder with white hair approached him. To kill an eternal true god of Sure Kingdom by sacrificing tens of billions, or even hundreds of billions of creatures is simply not worth it. General Yong shook his head. If he really massacred that many, not just me, but all 5 great families will be held accountable. How could Divine Monarch Shui Yun be so powerful? The white-haired elder could hardly believe it. Through the long years until now, he has never revealed such strength. Both sides had been fighting for a long time, with Divine Monarch Shui Yun's side even at a disadvantage. Without the Huyang City formation, I can't even handle him. General Yong was indeed a bit agitated, his renown being what it was, and with the cultivation bestowed by the godly king. This Divine Monarch Shui Yun, not very famous, had accumulated a higher realm than him. General Yong silently sighed. Status doesn't equate to strength. Even some reclusive cultivators can have extremely high realms, and it's also possible for a Primal Chaos Dominator to emerge among them. Never underestimate any opponent. General Yong scanned the surroundings. The residences of the true gods in Huyang City were separated into different areas, but even so, the endless blood wave affected too vast an area, affecting tens of billions of creatures in just a few clashes. About 80 billion creatures died at the hands of Shui Yun, said the white-haired elder with an ugly expression. Such a huge loss must be reported to the Marquis, reported to the royal capital. We did our best. General Yong turned to leave. Though the clashes between Primal Chaos Dominator level beings could, with a mere opening of the mouth, swallow an entire large city and obliterate all creatures within it. Still, the conflict at the level of eternal true gods, counting tonight's destruction and massacre in Huyang City, with nearly 100 billion creatures perishing at once, still caused significant headaches for the city owner's mansion. Such public killings were impossible to hide. In front of the Forbidden Lands Palace Gate, Luo Feng sat cross-legged, with Morosa and Moyu Qingyan standing guard next to him. Brother Luo He, your task is complete, Moli Xiao messaged Luo Feng. Sure Kingdom's forces have completely retreated, they won't make a move easily again. With General Yong's presence, the forces of Sure Kingdom were naturally wary. This time Divine Monarch Shui Yun was able to threaten and force General Yong to withdraw by slaughtering countless creatures. Good. Luo Feng stood up and messaged back, how's the situation this time? Not good, many citizens in the city died, Moli Xiao transmitted, details will probably spread soon. Moli Xiao was quite aware of how informed various factions within Huyang City were. Such a big incident couldn't be kept secret, especially since the Flame Wind Pavilion was extremely adept at gathering intelligence. In many respects, they were stronger than the city owner's mansion. Luo Feng glanced at Morosa and Moyu Qingyan. We can go back now. Lord Luo He, we owe you a great deal for this time. General Jin Xiao and the 2 leaders of Huyang Guards came to see them off. A small matter. Luo Feng nodded, then led Morosa and Moyu Qingyan onto the flying boat and left. The General Jin Xiao and the 2 leaders of Huyang Guards watched the scene. Our own losses are negligible, but the other 2 Forbidden Grounds have suffered considerably, General Jin Xiao spoke, especially Divine Monarch Shui Yun. He has massacred too many creatures this time. After we defeated Yu Qian-yi, if we had immediately sent Lord Luo He to support the other Forbidden Grounds, the outcome might have been different, Gao Wushui said. That was not for us to decide. The other leader of the Huyang Guard also shook his head. The affairs of Huyang City were decided by the core figures of the city owner's mansion. Their role was to follow orders. Luo Feng, accompanied by Morosa and Moyu Qingyan, steered the flying boat, still on their return journey. Brother Luo He, a major incident has occurred. Zhu You messaged Luo Feng. Yong Hu, the great general of Yu Kingdom's capital, appeared within the city and moved to exterminate Divine Monarch Shui Yun. Divine Monarch Shui Yun unleashed strength far beyond the past, resulting in the slaughter of more than 80 billion creatures, which forced Great General Yong Hu to retreat. What's the situation? Luo Feng frowned slightly. From the information passed by his master mountain-sitting guest and the Duandong River lineage, he already knew about the cruelty of the land of origin. Not to mention the clashes between primal chaos dominators and godly kings, even conflicts among the uber-powerful eternal true gods could still affect an astronomical number of creatures. I'll send you the details. Zhu You immediately sent a complete report. This is the latest intelligence collected by the Flame Wind Pavilion, very detailed. Luo Feng immediately checked the detailed report. Before this he had not known about Great General Yong Hu being in the city, and in more than 2 decades he had never once found Divine Monarch Shui Yun. Inside the flying boat, Luo Feng watched the entire intelligence report in detail. The report contained a rather detailed introduction about Great General Yong Hu, and even covered the entire process of the Sure Kingdom's forces' attack. As a guardian of a forbidden land, Luo Feng knew less than what was in this report. General Yong from the Yu Kingdom's capital, cultivating unlimited godly bodies, has unfathomable strength. I didn't expect that even with the help of the Grand Formation in Huyang City, he was unable to kill Shui Yun, Luo Feng marveled internally. After this battle, Divine Monarch Shui Yun's fame greatly increased. Whether it was the Yu Kingdom or the Sure Kingdom, they would both value Divine Monarch Shui Yun even more. The next time Yu Kingdom made a move, they would only send a force stronger than General Yong. The Sure Kingdom would also make even more effective use of Divine Monarch Shui Yun. That was something Divine Monarch Shui Yun did not want to see, as his tasks would only become more burdensome and the dangers greater. On the side of the Sure Kingdom's forces, Shui Yun, Yu Tiansu, Yu Tianyi, all 3 of them are still alive. With the Sure Kingdom's style of doing things, they won't let this rest. Luo Feng immediately steered the flying boat straight to where General Yong and Shui Yun had clashed. Master, where are we going? Morosa sensed that their course had changed. To where General Yong and Shui Yun clashed, Luo Feng said while Morosa appeared thoughtful. A moment later, the flying boat soon reached the site of the battle. Luo Feng saw that a large number of Huyang guards had gathered and already sealed off the area, preventing other citizens inside the city from approaching this place. Please leave immediately. Seeing a flying boat approaching, the Huyang guards immediately came over to drive it away. Luo Feng retracted the flying boat, his invisible domain protected Moyu Qingyan, and naturally Morosa did not need his protection. The Huyang guard squad preparing to drive them away was startled when they saw Luo Feng. Lord Luo He, the Huyang guards were all quite respectful. They knew basic intelligence about all the eternal true gods in Huyang City, so they could recognize him at a glance. When patrolling the whole city, they did not dare provoke eternal true gods. Otherwise, an eternal true god could use a small-scale cosmic domain to hide and silently eliminate them, and the city owner's mansion could not identify the murderer without paying a high price. I'll just take a look here, Luo Feng said. The Huyang guards did not dare to speak further and immediately withdrew. Luo Feng looked ahead. Within the vast area sealed off by the Huyang guards, there were many densely populated residential zones and some family cave mansions, but now the inside was desolate. All dead without a single survivor. Thick resentment gathered in this area. Over 80 billion true gods were instantly killed, and the anger, unwillingness, despair, and hatred at the moment of their death. All kinds of intents will entangled together, forming a terrible malice. With such resentment, the Huyang guards only dared to seal off the outer perimeter. There would be eternal true gods to come and deal with this malice. This kind of thing is happening everywhere in the land of origin. Not just me, even a godly king cannot change all this. This is the law of the survival of the fittest. Luo Feng silently watched this scene. Although there are laws, the restraining power of the laws is ultimately limited. Like when primal chaos overlords devour the creatures of an entire large city, aren't they still at ease? Even a Mei Wuqi who massacres citizens could escape the strict punishment of the laws if Luo Feng did not intervene. Brother Luo He, a tall figure flew over from afar. Luo Feng turned to look and the person approaching was Shang Tianyan. Usually full of enthusiasm, Shang Tianyan now had a trace of sorrow. You're here too, Luo Feng said to him. I'm here to bid farewell to my disciples. Shang Tianyan looked at the area where resentment soared to the sky, sighing. Tonight, 8,039 of my Heavenly Flame sect disciples died. They were living in this area. Luo Feng was taken aback. After all, the Heavenly Flame sect, established by Shang Tianyan over the long years, had numerous disciples, and it was normal to have over 8,000 in this area. He had also lived in the Heavenly Flame sect for a period of time, and maybe among these 8,039 disciples were some who had seen him from a distance. Most of these disciples were quite mediocre, but they were still very hard-working, trying to seize every opportunity, Shang Tianyan lamented. In my Heavenly Flame sect, as long as someone can pass the strict tests, anyone has the chance to become my direct disciple. Among these 8,039 disciples, there was one who was my direct disciple, named Mengshi. Mengshi lost his parents when he was just a child. He joined the Heavenly Flame sect when he grew up, working extremely hard. He learned every aspect of artifact refining diligently and finally became my direct disciple after passing the strict tests, Shang Tianyan recounted. Who would have thought that tonight he would be caught in the crossfire and die? Luo Feng silently looked at the vast area now only filled with malice. I received intelligence that Shi Kingdom's leaders this time, Shui Yun, Yu Tiansu and Yu Tianyi, are all still alive? Shang Tianyan looked at Luo Feng. The report states that brother Luo He, you also took action this time? I clashed with Yu Tianyi, he is quite powerful. Yu Tiansu will be even stronger. Luo Feng said, especially Shui Yun, he's much stronger than what the previous report stated. And he's much crazier than before. Shang Tianyan looked at the area ahead. In the past he was very restrained and never carried out such indiscriminate slaughtering. But this time, it affected over 80 billion. And all three of them are still alive. I'm afraid there will be other actions. The struggle between the Shi Kingdom and the Yu Kingdom will continue for a long time, Luo Feng said. Yes, it will continue indefinitely. This is my homeland, I really don't want to see it destroyed by the conflicts between the two countries. Shang Tianyan looked at the area. Luo Feng and Shang Tianyan stood shoulder to shoulder, looking at the vast expanse. After a long while, they parted and went their separate ways. Not only Luo Feng and Shang Tianyan came here, but eternal true gods from all sides of Huyang City were shocked by this conflict. After all, while conflicts had always existed over the long term, they had never been so intense. The appearance of General Yong and the strength and madness of Divine Monarch Shui Yun both made the various forces within the city tremble. The Heavenly Flame Sect. Shang Tianyan had returned, and he summoned an old servant. Sect leader, a metallic life form greeted with respect. Uncle Chiu, Shang Tianyan smiled at him, I need your help with something. Sect leader, you always insist on being so courteous. Uncle Chiu grinned broadly, his golden face beaming with a smile. Shang Tianyan looked at Uncle Chiu. When he first returned alone to his hometown of Huyang City, he scoured the entire city, only to find his former family servant, Uncle Chiu. Later on, when he established the Heavenly Flame Sect, Uncle Chiu became the one he trusted the most, handling all sorts of big and small matters for the sect. This secret letter I've given you, once my cause and effect dissipates, you must immediately pass it on to the 5 individuals listed, Shang Tianyan said. Cause and effect dissipates? The metallic life form Uncle Chiu paused and looked at Shang Tianyan. Sect leader, you've always enjoyed teaching those disciples, always enjoyed making friends, this world is still wonderful and interesting, don't give up. I'm not seeking death, I'm just preparing to do something quite dangerous, Shang Tianyan said. Dangerous? Sect leader, must you do it? Uncle Chiu looked at him. This matter is very meaningful, Shang Tianyan said with a brilliant smile. After I return to Huyang City, I hope that every day henceforth would be meaningful. This matter, I must do it. Having said that, Shang Tianyan turned and left. Sect leader. Uncle Chiu watched the departing figure of Shang Tianyan, tears streaming down. Dreamflower Tower. Shang Tianyan had come here. Tianyan, why have you come? Dreamflower Tower Master came to see him with a smile. As one of the 2 eternal true gods who were most infatuated with her in the entire city, the Dreamflower Tower Master still cared a lot about Shang Tianyan. Just wanted to see you, Shang Tianyan looked at the Dreamflower Tower Master.